y'all doing this morning?
Cutting feedback, so oop, I see the baby coming. I thought she had him hid. Look who's following up the back. Oh, Ruth, don't ram me. Here they come. Howdy, neighbor. Mama's there, neighbor. Thank you. That's so funny that Roro and Rowdy were together. Good morning. Come on. Rowdy, you got to know how this works. Good morning, Roro. You going to come see me? What you doing, baby? How you doing, baby? Good morning. He looks so little compared to everybody, but he's actually really good size. What you doing? Huh? Yeah, we got a little bit of rain last night. Are we missing somebody here? No, Rhonda's coming. I see everybody. I think he must have nursed down that front quarter some on Roxanne. Yeah, it looks better. It's big, that one side. But yeah, I can see where he's been on it. They got to nurse that milk out of every quarter. So each one, the back ones are usually the smaller ones. Hey, no, Ruth. I see you being goofy. Hello. Oh yeah, that's fine. No, I didn't. But I mean, that's fine. Black shows dirt really bad. The only bad part. But in order to match, it's going to have to be. Okay. Let me do that. Finished up everything on our house and we changed the colors of the window frames to black, which I don't really, doesn't really matter to me. But anyways, that made the garage door have to change to black, which means it's going to be dirty all the time. But that's okay. Look at that herd of cows. Oh yeah, no, the black's gonna look good. It's just right now it's gonna be a dirt hole up there. But we got everything is coming. Redford, what happened? Nothing. Redford's right there, watching through the trees. I've not fed him yet. I feed one side, then I feed the other side. Would you stop? Hey, get back over there. Nope. God dang. Why are you so violent so early? Why are you so violent? Let me go get, I think I brought my microphones. Hey. Oh, that's get you by your big old ear. Oh shit. Same spot from yesterday. Hers is a good baby. Hers is a good baby. Can y'all hear all right? Her face is just, I can't get over her face. Like, you know how when you look at your animals, you stare at one or another one, but like her face, like, I'm just like, how did that get printed off with this dot? That y'all can see or not? Maybe you can. But half her eyelashes are brown and half of them are white. She has a perfect stripe. And also, if you look at Rhonda, her eyes always look closed. Well, Roro's eyes, stop. I don't want you to beat up my phone stand. Everybody's trying to watch without being sick. Also, though, her eyes, instead of being round like Rufus's or completely closed like Rhonda's, they're kind of squinted. So she looks angry when you look at her dead on in the face. I told Amanda, I said, she kind of looks like you when you're mad at me. They're just a little bit squinted. But see, she's turning a little bit lighter color. See her butt where her winter coat's off all the way? I don't know what color. She'll change color some. I think she already has turned lighter, actually. Maybe. I don't even know. As long as she's not ramming me for a second. Let's go look at this man of the hour. Look at the little noggin. We can't we can't force him to let us pet him yet. He got a real good dose of the "Don't mess with me" from Mama Jean. Some of the babies. This is about 0.9% of cows are like this. Calves, newborns, especially, and it takes a long time to get through with them. So if you buy a cow, or if you want to have calves, or if you want to have that little some bitch over there, and that one there are one out of hundreds to be born with that attitude. Um, I've only had a couple ever. I think she wasn't near as gentle as her, but I've never seen one come out like that ever. Now, even Ruby, at first, she didn't really care. Um, she wouldn't let me pet her. And now Rowdy has a lot of that in him where he is going to be one of those standoffish. It's going to take him a while, but his mama comes running to me and she'll train him that it's okay. But if you mess with them too much when they're little, um, they'll get to where they avoid you. That's Rowdy. I like those blackbirds over there. It cracks me up. There's some over there, some over there. Um, but they're always fucking with Rufus. I feel like, and I love it. They're always around him, and he's like always looking at them, like, "Get away from me." All they're doing is eating flies and shit. But I just love it because I feel like they mess with him. You know what I mean? I used to land on him, and I'd always just be cracking up. I haven't put any fly spray on Rowdy yet, so he may have a few ticks on him. I'll give him a few more days before I put anything on. What do you see, girl? She spotted something down there. So it's funny. Yeah, I can't believe how big she looks now. Cause She looked just tiny just a few days ago, but now with a baby, you can see how much she grew. Yeah, but she pesters the shit out of him. He's big enough now that he can run and avoid stuff. What snake species do I find on land? We have a lots of copperheads. This place has got lots of copperheads. It's very rocky. No rattlesnakes that I've ever found on this place, but I found more copperheads than anything. He's gonna stay a boy. We're not gonna fix him, and we're going to wean him with Redford. And I am so looking forward to this because in 6 or 7 months, whenever he's starting to get frisky, you can see Redford has slowed down a little bit, and I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I hope that he pesters Redford as much as Redford picked on Rufus. Because, see, Rufus was 3 when Redford was brought in here, and everywhere Rufus went, Redford was just pounding on him. So I'm hoping Rowdy will just throttle Redford. Of course, Redford's going to love it. Redford, I said Redford slowed down. He hasn't, but um, I really don't know what's going to happen. Yeah, she's like 4 of them actually. Now she's 2 months old, I think, or better now. So he just now is 8 days old. No, the steers don't play with. The steers are just like, what you doing, girl? What you doing, girly pop? I'm not putting any more feed in because Ruby don't need any more because she's getting to her last term of pregnancy. And after seeing Roxanne, looks like she had some problems or didn't have a real smooth labor. Didn't look like the looks of where she had Rowdy at. Um, we're going to be cutting back on feed, which isn't going to do much because we fertilize so much and they have so much to eat this year that I think the grass and everything has more nutrients than stop than the grain does. The grain's only 12%. Rufus, I'm not giving you any more feed. I don't have anything. Good morning. I think we picked the shirts up today. So if you're watching, I think I'll have Amanda send out an email when the shirts get put in today. But they told us they'd be done today, which I'm pretty confident they will. Does sweet pea have what? It's about 12% fat, protein. So it's really not even as good as a lot of the grass now out here. Will be more than that. Hey, from New York. Missed this last week. Yeah, it sucked. I'm behind these panels now because Rufus wanted to come over here. He gets sick of me petting. Yep, Ralph is a steer. Thank you. Leave her alone. We've already broke ground. That would be funny though, kinda. It's a tree sap landed on my screen. Rowdy, we're gonna leave Rowdy a bull. We have enough cows now. We have enough girls now. I'm gonna get over this fence so I can move around a little better. Rufus can see there's feed still in that bag. He can see if there's, normally that would just be empty land there, but he knows it's still got some feed in it. But Roof, do you seriously think that you still? Oh my God! You may believe in flat Earth, but that thing's got some curvature to it right there. Woo! Rufus, you're gonna have to back up some. You got the whole frame filled up. Roro, or I mean Ruth. Ruth, I don't like you being in between the barbed wire fence and Rufus. Yeah, he gets bigger as he gets closer. That's the thing about the camera at a distance. It's really hard to tell how big he is. She's probably over 500 pounds now. Yep, she's a good girl. She's like, okay, where's the snacks? Everybody has to wait a little bit. You guys are fat. Everybody here is fat. Yes. Yep. It has enough folds in it. Look at that. Back up, please. You're an idiot. You always. I don't think it is that she gets cut more, but she's white, so she has spots on her all the time. Would you please back up, son? I'll be glad when I get my wood panels. This whole fence here is coming out, and then this will be a wood fence from there down. We'll have a nice corral here in my barn right here. For the love of God, it's electricity and a bathroom and some water. How cool would that be? One of these days, I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna be like, y'all know where I started my lives at years ago? Was way over there. None of this was even here. None of this fence, none of this road, nothing, none of this. I was way over there as close as I could get to where I had service. And now that spot has crappy service. Roots always gives me that look. He's always got the look. He's wanting something else to eat. The problem is that the Ruby is next to have a baby, and I think she's a month out or less. She's supposed to be 2 months out, but I'm seeing some signs here that maybe she's starting to change a little bit, and I don't want her to get locked up with this baby trying to have it. So she already has too much. They already have too much to eat. They shouldn't even be eating grain, honestly. If anybody's eating grain that should be eating grain, it'd be Roxanne and Rhonda should be the only two eating grain. Everybody else needs to lose some weight. You don't want them really super, super fat going into summer either. Um, I know it's hard. It's really hard for me not to give them grain. Um, but you don't want them to be just rolling poly fat, going into hot weather. I know. I know it. There is a yeah. Well, there is a chance. So There is a chance. Sound low. Well, I think my phone's clamped in here. There is a chance for sure that Rowdy belongs to Redford. But I think we're going to do a. So if everybody remembers last summer, July 16th, we did a blood test to check for pregnancy. While we were doing the blood test for pregnancy, Roxanne got into the horse pen. The next day, Rufus had torn down his fence and Redford's fence. If everybody remembers, he cut his leg and was in with Roxanne, but so was Redford. So there is a chance there was one day that he was in with, or she was in with both of them for one day. So there's about a 99.9% chance that he's Rufus's, and there's about a fraction of a percent that it could be Redford's, but there is a chance. If you ask me, my personal opinion, Rowdy belongs to Redford. If you did it by the odds, pretty damn slim that it would be Redford's. I mean, he was with Roxanne for the entire time besides. And see, I don't know who got in first with her, but I know Rufus would never let him. So it would have mean Redford had to tore down the horse pen fence to have got in with Roxanne. But see, nobody even chased her after that night, and she wasn't cycling before that. So that's the weird part too. But the full term came out to that day. Oh, I 100 million% guarantee also. He's got some ear on him. He's got some dewlap on him. And I'm like, there is a chance. There's a lot more of a chance that it's Rufus's, but looking at him, I'm like, and see, I didn't see it when he was first born, but when I went back and looked at the pictures and videos, a couple things you can see. Why does Rowdy run from me? Because that is how they all should act. This one and Ruth are so irregular for babies. It is not normal for a baby to walk up to you. That is one in hundreds. They sh- if you buy a cow and you expect to walk up like I do to Roro, that's why I was so ecstatic that the way she acted and the way she came to me, because that you talk to any cattle farmer, that does not happen. That usually now he will come to me eventually. He'll see his mama coming to me and he'll relax and he'll start coming to me. It probably gonna take he is probably on the higher end of that. They just have a natural it's just, they need to be away from everything. That's just ingrained into their DNA. Everything is danger. Everything is danger. So Well, they will eventually. Like, he will eventually. But I ain't never seen one hit the ground. I ain't never seen a calf hit the ground like Roro. She hit the ground and she came right to me. I've never had that happen. It's usually so time consuming and it's usually just hard. And sometimes, no matter what you do, they won't like, no matter how much you do, they do not like to be pet. It took Ruby actually took over a year. Um, but she was okay when she was born, but she went through a phase where she didn't want to be touched. Uh, Ruth, she took a little bit of time, maybe a few months. I know we all have a hard time remembering back when that happened, but Roro is definitely one of a kind. I swear that it's because I was there. She was looking at me when just her snout was coming out. So I was like the first thing she saw. I know it doesn't have nothing to do with it, but she bit my finger while I was trying to get the snot out of her mouth when just her snout was coming out. I want to make sure her tongue wasn't swelled up. He's right there, laying down. It could have been. It could have been, but they just have such natural instincts to stay away from everything. Here comes old Ruth. What you doing, baby? What you doing, girl? You're so pretty. You're just so pretty. When did you become such a good girl? She gonna have some horns, and let me just tell you, they're gonna be some big old bases on them suckers too. She's not gonna have horns like y'all think. So not gonna come way out like a longhorn. I bet they're gonna stick. They look to me like they're gonna stick pretty much out, and they're gonna be real fat. They don't usually have giant horns. Rhonda would have had them, but she was dehorned. She's got some real rough spots on her head that really hurt when she whacks you. Roro is, man. She is holding that tail up, and she's been huffing since she was born. Like when they're huffing, like when you hear them huffing, shirts should be here today. She may already post them on the website. I'm gonna tell her to send an email out. Just make sure you're on that list for the email, and then we're gonna. I think we ordered 100. Um, oh, and my new shirt also should be coming out today. Y'all want to see it? This is probably my favorite one. I say that about all of them. Let me see if I can find it. Y'all ready for this? We talked about it one morning on here. Check it out. They got it done. Look at that. Rufus A. I love it. There's your 4th of July shirt right there. I mean, I'm going to wear that sucker all the time. I'm going to get her to change the color one more time. Yeah. I've been trying to get the Rufus A shirt for over a year now. Rufus A. I know. Isn't that? Nobody ever listens to me. Nobody being the big boss. What up, Roof? What you coming over here messing me for? I didn't do nothing. Yeah, Rufus A. Rufus A. Speaking of, Rufus, don't mess with me today, man. Did you get your fly spray washed off last night? Paisley says he doesn't like that, but I think he does like it. He likes Pats. He's such a weird color. Like, Why are you so hot? He's like, he feels like something that came out of the dryer, like right now. Feels good. Don't be rude. Says I'm getting lined up for the kill shot. How's your feet looking, Bubba? Hmm. The Great Wall of Rufus is what this is. Rupaloof, you've gotten really big, Bubba. I don't know how you got this big. Like, you've got more ground clearance than most cars do. Like, I mean, good Lord. You know, some bulls, they have to really keep an eye on to make sure their sheath in their belly don't drag into the mud. I guarantee you, Roro could walk underneath him because it gets everything dirty and you can get infections and stuff. Not Rufus. I bet you there's over 2 foot, 24 inches, maybe more than that, maybe closer to 30 off the ground. He's standing on the bottom side of the fence too. Rowdy or Redford shirt. Yeah. That's funny. I knew. Rufus, your feet look good. That's all we gotta make sure stays good on old Rufus is his feet. Look at him sink. He just sinks. Look at that. See? He just stands there. It's like standing in the beach in the sand. How's the training going from riding him? Uh, well, not good, we could say, but I'm still alive. I think she's gonna come over here and go live today. I've been trying to convince her. If y'all are on her page, say we need you to go live more. What are y'all doing? Roxanne gonna take you on, huh? I don't know what they're doing. Whoever's head is lower, um, this is funny. Roxanne saying she. I'm just trying to see what they're doing. Roxanne likes to put pressure on her neck, like she likes to push. Oh, if you watch, Rufus will not touch her. She's going to cram him in the face. Roxanne's like, I feel a little bit frisky today. See, she's going to, after having this baby, she's going to be after a man again. Brent Hunter. I'll tell you, man, it sucked. Not being able to post or anything. The only thing I can do is comment. I feel like dead for a week. I got a lot of stuff done though. I did get a lot of stuff done on the farm, but I'd rather sit around and bullshit with everybody. My goal for the day, my goal for today is I've been burning and clearing. My goal for today, my house goes right there. You can see the pad up there. And then this little, so I've burned this whole ditch all the way up there. So I've got just a little bit of shit left in it. And I don't know if you can see or not, but what I burnt, I killed a few trees right here that I would have liked to have left, but they're fucked now. So I'm gonna take all those out. And also from where my living room is, where my house will be, looking down here at my barn, I want a good clear view. Now that's a giant oak there. It'll obviously stay. And then but a bunch of that's gonna come out. I'll try to pile all that in there with my tractor, and then burn the rest of that out. I reseeded all the spots I missed with grass seed where they dug my septic, all this spot. My seed did really good, but you can see exactly where I went. You know, look at that. So I reseeded that, reseeded this, and I got all the mother freaking thistles out of there yesterday. And I also seeded the rest of this road up through here. Trying to hold this isn't necessarily for the cows to eat. This is to hold my dirt because otherwise the whole side of that thing's gonna wash off. That's a steep bastard right there. It may not look it on camera, but like even right here, like this shit is steep. I pulled my tire off the bead yesterday. There's a stick jammed up underneath there. But I mean, if you get down in here, like this is a ditch deluxe. And then look, you can look up towards the house up there, like it's steep, some bitch. Brent, we can't see you. Well, no shit. How do I dispose of the thistles? I burn them. The only way you can get rid of them things is to burn them. I mean, you can try. I mean, that's not the only way, but the only way in my book, because they'll mature in a pile. Matter of fact, and then I'm gonna level all this out once I get the rest of this burnt. But as a matter of fact, you can see a giant pile of them right up here. I'm gonna finish burning. Got that little patch. I know it looks terrible, but from there up, this tree I think is gonna live. But that little patch right there, I'm gonna have to get rid of them. If I had the dozer still, it would take me about 20 minutes to clean this whole ditch up, but I don't. So we shall be using the tractor. But this is my little road. And then right in there is a giant pile of thistles. It looks like a Pepsi can. And then I don't know where this spring come from, but as I was putting in my road, this thing just runs water all the time. It's just a wet weather spring. I got this big old honker right here beside my road. Anyways, there's a little tour of my road. Nobody really gives a shit, but I need to get that little patch cleaned up and burn out because my power line might come through here too. I won't be able to burn underneath of it. And then my barn will be right there. It'll start about right here somewhere, go way back there, and then have a big overhang on that side. And I'll be able to pull in here and and then I'm gonna straighten all this up. Get that shit out of there first. I'm more excited about this barn. I don't have anywhere to park my tractor. They're gonna build them both at the same time, they say. I don't really know, but and then Rufus is getting mad at me showing everybody around here. But this road right here, uh, sent for peanut butter fudge. You should have it today. Oh, okay. That's my favorite. I might give Rufus some too. Um, thank you so much. Oh, is that the cat sanctuary? Thank you. And then somebody left another Pepsi can right here. But anyways, right here is where the 20-foot overhang will be. And then that's why I haven't started on this fence yet. But my wooden fence will come to the corner of my overhang, wherever it is. And then it's gonna go, this will all be covered right here, this whole area where my truck is. And then that fence will all be gone. And there'll be a wooden fence over here to the barn, and then a wooden fence out that way, and down and around, and then back up this whole side here will be wooden fence or steel fence. I haven't decided yet. There's Rufus's birthday table. If I found something cheaper to start brush piles on fire with, hey, it's way cheaper than diesel. But then I'm gonna smooth this down a little bit right here, and then my wooden fence will stay right about where that fence is and come up here, turn over to my barn. And then I'm gonna make it so that this is all just a good walk path, and then they'll be able to come in and out of my barn here and be able to be underneath the overhang right here. That's my plan. So then in here, I'm gonna have stalls in here. So whenever the females get ready to have some babies or something, we'll be able to put them in here in their stalls. Could be on a lane in the middle, and then I'm gonna have my tack room and my shit for my deal. And then on the other side over there, I'm gonna have an overhang on that side, and that's where my tractor will go and the Ranger will go. And then just depending on if I can afford it later on, I'll do this middle part and that side with a concrete floor. It's going to be a dirt floor for now because I can't afford that much concrete, but I want to do the structure with the same color metal at the same time as my house so that it'll all match. You know how it is when you build something. If you don't do it all at the same time, it'll sun bleach and it'll never match for the rest of your life if you don't do it all at one time. So I'm excited. So we did all the windows yesterday. They'll be coming. What else? Amanda's gonna be doing the inside on her live, I guess. I don't really know what she's gonna do. She hadn't figured out what she wants to do yet, but she'll be doing the inside. I'll be doing the outside. It's gonna be a little while before she's in there. But they claim they can build this thing in just a couple weeks. So, oh, corn chips and Doritos. Yeah. No, I'm talking like big fire. Like when I say a fire starter, I mean like 25 gallons of diesel, 2 round bales of hay, like serious brush piles. That brush pile right there covered almost a full acre. If you can imagine your house sitting on a lot in town, about 3 of those is what that brush pile covered. Let me just tell you, when it was on fire, it was a doozy. Well, the house structure is all that's gonna be built, and then we're gonna have to wait a little while before we do the inside. We're gonna get it all built, rough in plumbing. It'll have all the windows, the doors, the porch, the covered porch, everything will be there. Um, yeah, oh, trust me, it's gonna go slow enough. It's gonna feel like a time lapse. Oh, on the first build on the structure part of it, the buildings, that'll go fast. Oh, yeah, we're back on here. I missed somebody, didn't I? See something up here. Let me open that. That's gonna be a fine bull brand. I think so too. Oh, the somebody say the hoof trimming. I'm excited for you. Oh yeah, Judith Johnson. I'm so excited to get a barn here where I can sit here. Rufus hates barns. I'm hoping he comes around, but even if he's an asshole, the girls will love it. Underground lines. I It's so far over here from it is about $1,700 per pole for the high line. Um, it's a lot. It's probably gonna take me a little while to get power to this barn. Yep, that's Rowdy. Yeah, it's about I think the power is I don't know, it's a lot. It also depends on how many guide wires they have to run. Do solar. Yeah, right. On the north side of a mountain. Solar is more expensive. Um, I would love to do solar, but I'm on that's south. So the whole mountain, that's right there's about level. So my whole place faces north, pretty much slopes north. I mean, I would love to have solar everything, except for it has to be cleaned nonstop. Even I have solar for all my electric fences right now. I have to clean them at least once a week. I don't know how often y'all clean your solar panels, if anybody has any. This is a mountain, slopes north. So this is the face of the mountain. The whole place, if you can see, faces this way, which is north. So the slope, if you poured water up there, it's going to run down here. The whole face slopes north. Divine one. Gosh dang. Welcome back, you lazy bastard. Big Boss held it down. Happy anniversary and congratulations, Rowdy is beautiful. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That was way too good. Um, yeah, the shirts, if you need a lazy bastard shirt, they should be on there today. Hang on, I'll just text the old lady right now. She loves when I call her that. I don't say old, I say old. Let's see here. Will the shirts be on today? I won't let her post them for sale until we're 100% guaranteed they're done, because we've had some misprints come out and it takes a week to get the misprints if something was to come out um, wrong. And then y'all would be pissed off at the big boss. Yeah, as soon as I pick them up, I'll put them on. Will the shirts be on today? Yeah, as soon as I pick them up, I'll put them on. Okay, so she just confirmed, not only from my dumbass, but from her, that they will be on the website today. I'm pretty excited. So will the new Rufus A shirt, so that's gonna be a hard choice. I need 500 shirts. Um, I probably need that many too for everybody I know. Yeah. What's that, Coach? How was you been, man? I hadn't seen you on here in a while. Wait, no, wait. Coach Cheryl. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I confused you with somebody else. I'm sorry. I haven't seen you on here in a while either, though. Maybe it's because I've been kicked off for a week. Kurt gone. I wish there was a way that I could read this better. Hang on. Let me see how much delay there is. I'm not even going to try it. Like yesterday, when I let my battery die, I can we get more jokes? Um, yeah. When I let my battery die, though, there was 120 people still on here. I couldn't get back on the live though. It won't let me back in. I think it runs for 10 minutes after my battery dies. Desert Darling. What's everybody been up to? I've been listening to Theo Vaughn today and I've been cracking up. So it took me so long to get out and feed these things. Will I get kicked off for a week? I chopped open a watermelon with a garden hoe about 3 years ago. And some part of that looked violent. I could see it looking violent. Stupid. I really pay attention to what I post. What advice do you have on how to earn the trust of a very skittish donkey? Everything spooks him. Cut a fart one time, gave him treats, and ran off. I wouldn't come around me for days. For real. Man, how old is it, Hunter? Um, if it's young, that's a little better than if it's old doing that. Man, patience. If you wanna if you wanna live a great life, get you a horse. Um, because they will teach you nothing but patience. Don't get a real good horse either. Everything does. Horses, donkeys, everything do. Can Amanda kick you off for one life? Probably. How much did you charge for a guided tour? I wish I could give those. Maybe someday. I can't wait to get a shirt and like back hoodie. But you're all sold out. You're probably in another country. If it says we're sold out, it's because you're out of the uh, outside of the country, most likely. Because there's lots of stuff in there now. I think the hoodies maybe sold out. We kind of let them run out going into summer. 4 horses and a mule, and I question my sanity every day. I'm gonna tell you right now, Nicole. I trust me. And that's the thing about a damn horse. I love them, but gosh almighty. Every time you go to ride a horse, too, you got your horse, you paid 55 bajillion dollars for, you fed them for 15 years, and you get a good trail ride coming up. The day before the trail ride, lame, lame. Uh, if it's a mare, it'll be in heat. Um, and anything else that could possibly happen will happen before that, and that sucker won't ever have one single problem for the 15 years you've been feeding the sumbitch. And then the day that you want to use them for something, they're lame. They got a big cut on them. They're in heat. Some bitches won't mind something. That's my experience with horses. That's right. But it's every time. Then I used to have a horse and he wouldn't cross a bridge with me on him. And God almighty, I'd be on a trail ride with a bunch of people, I'd be so embarrassed. Colic. Yeah, I'm telling you. Pay $5 bajillion at the vet, have 'em everything you could imagine, have that sucker spit shine, you ready to go somewhere. Nope, nope. He's laying right in front of Rhonda. Rhonda's over there playing peekaboo with him. You can see the tip of his head right there sticking up. I do love horses. Horses are very, very smart. Um, I'll try to compare them to a cow. There's no comparison to a cow. And people like to compare horses. They think horses and cows just go together. They don't. They're nothing alike. Um, People just put them in the same lineup. They don't even like each other, honestly. They don't like each other. Donkeys also don't like horses typically. Uh, Typically, donkeys don't like horses, and horses are terrified of donkeys. A lot of times, you really got to watch that if you're riding. A freaking horse sees a donkey at a distance, and your horse. That's the thing about horses. Nobody understands this. If that cow is raised right here on this property, and she never sees another cow, a horse, or a donkey, or a dog, and then you introduce them to some of that. I'm not saying a cow, but I'm talking about a horse. But then you take the same thing, you put it with a horse, and then you take a horse out on that road, and they ain't never seen another car color besides the color of my truck or a car. And the son of a bitches are just crazy. Everything is different. Even trees, the way the wind blows the trees. You get one of those horses that's been in the same field or lot for a long time, and you get them around some different trees, cedar trees. If they've been in here with all this hardwood, get them around a cedar tree that shakes different. You got to introduce them to everything. That's the time consuming part. They need to be introduced to everything, desensitized to everything. They never walked across a bridge. That was my horse. He'd never cross the bridge. Be on a trail ride, 25, 30 people. Everybody's on these big old horses. I had the biggest one, biggest, prettiest son of a bitch, and that sucker would not cross a bridge. And I had to get off of him, walk him out in the middle of the bridge, get back on him in the middle of the bridge. I'd be out there cussing and looking around at everything. Anyways, what is she doing? She acts like she limp a little bit on her left foot. But anyways, I'd have to get out in the middle of the damn bridge, get on my horse. Everybody be looking at me. When I knew a bridge is coming up, I'd fade to the back. See them girls all come up there rub around on the bull because all of them are not pregnant now, and all of them are wanting to get pregnant again. It's not just the bull. That's what I try to tell everybody. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, give them a break." Well, they all go to the bull. If you take a bull out of that pen right there, Rhonda and Roxanne will go look. They'll tear down a fence, go look for a bull. Uh, right there is Rowdy, Ruth, and Roro. Yeah, I've got enough cows now. Back when I had Ralph, I didn't have enough. There was no other cycle or no other females besides what he was related to, and I didn't know we were going to grow like this. I mean, I knew we would, but it's happening faster than I thought. Can I please answer you, Brent? Sure. I want please, Karen. Karen, listen to me. I only have about 3 things on my screen at a time. I know it's frustrating because I was trying to message Big Boss while she was on live, and, I could only see about 3 of these at a time unless I turn my phone vertically. And Karen, ask the motherfucking question, brah. Now you got, "How do I buy food for you?" I'm not really hungry, but I appreciate it, Karen. Karen's like, "Man, you kiss my ass, you little smart ass prick." Um, there is a My son works at the co-op in Lincoln, Arkansas. Um, you can call there and they answer the phone. You can pay over the phone for feed if you want to do it that way. That's my that's the easiest because I can buy 50-pound bag of feed for $11, 11 or $12. Y'all can't ship me. anything like that for that. You know what I'm saying? But Karen, I'm sorry, I'm a dick. You can ask Amanda; she'll agree that I'm a dick. Okay. Um, and then I think on my profile, under my profile by name, there is a PO box there too. But on the Ruth and Roro together, yeah, they're all piled up around um Rowdy's land right there. They all kind of stay together. They go up in Lincoln, Arkansas. Got it. Yep. And if you want to be really funny about it, you can say, "This is for Hagen." Hagen is my son that works there. He's a feed loader. You can say, "This is for Hagen's brother, Rufus," on the receipt. That's what everybody was doing. I know the fingers right there and right there. Most important things horses and cows generate is prevent. Yeah. Lots of cussing. Lots of cussing. Pays his horse. One of the easiest catch the other day. He walked up, shook his head, nope, walked off. I don't know if y'all ever tried to catch a horse before. If anybody has never been around horses, but if you want to catch a horse, just you can imagine trying to catch a deer. Brent, set your cash app up, and it runs across the bottom of the screen during the line. Yeah, I come on here more just to set bullshit, and if you guys send whatever you send, it helps me sometimes. Like I know YouTube takes a percentage. I think it's 15% or 20% or something like that. It's not a lot. The more people that you have is the better. But it also helps my channel some because YouTube, of course, likes that. So it's one of those things. I win both sides because then they put more ads on. So I don't. It doesn't really take a percentage if you add in what the revenue generates for the ads. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like TikTok takes 50%. Like that's the biggest ripoff ever. You don't catch them, you just call them. That's right. That's right. Unless the son of a bitches don't want to be caught. Um, See, I dozed out my big pen up top and I don't have any panels up there. So it's like calling one up right here. And they're pasture sour. They've been out buddy sour. They're everything. And he saw Paisley. Paisley had a string in her back pocket and the tip of it was sticking out. And he said, mm-mm, mm-mm. And I said, "You son of a bitch, better stop." And then he wanted to play a game, and they turn it into a game. And then Paisley's like, "No, forget it." I said, "Oh no, no. Once you try to catch a horse, if you don't get them caught right then, you do not stop. You have to catch them. They cannot win. You cannot let them win ever. If they win one time, you are shit up a creek. I don't care how mad everybody is by the time you get it caught." Stephanie played with Roro. I think everybody's gonna rest a minute. She just hit me in the ass cheek so hard, Stephanie, that she about broke my ass cheek off, actually. Yes, it's basically okay. How the dog just allergies, sinus. She got like a mild sinus infection that'll probably turn into something that she'll give me that won't be a sinus infection when I get it. Oh, I know. Rowdy just stood up, actually. The art crew is all just relaxing. I'm trying to get the big boss to come over this afternoon with me. Oh my God, y'all. Yesterday, I've got the video, but I was in the bottom down there in that big field, and I was driving across about 90 mile an hour, and the Ranger was running out of gas. And Rufus got behind me and he was chasing me, and I brake checked him. And man, he rear ended me and gave me whiplash. Like I just now remembered it because I just bent my neck and I can't hardly bend my neck. And he gave me whiplash so bad. And then he lifted up the back of the Ranger and I floored it. but it wasn't in four wheel drive, so the back tires were off the ground, and the tires were just spinning. Well, then he dropped me, and when he dropped me, the tires bit into the ground and it shot out like a rocket, which whiplashed me again. And then somehow he was able to catch and lift it up again. I swear to God, he was lifting me up because he knew the tires could just spin. So then I locked it to four wheel drive, but I broke a CV axle on one side. So I've only got three wheel drive. And so it was just one front tire trying to pull me off top of Rufus's head. I really thought he was going to flip me over, but I recorded the whole thing. I recorded all of it. And I was so excited to watch it when I got home. I was like, babe, you got to watch this. This was so funny. Rufus, I brake checked Rufus and then he about flipped me over. And she's like, oh, sounds real fun. And I was like, yeah. And then I go to watch it and I recorded it. I was trying to do it in a hurry because he was chasing me. And I just was already on TikTok when I opened my phone and I hit the record button. And it was all one of those fucking recordings with music. So it had no audio. It had no audio on it. You can see it all happening, but without the audio, I'm like, "Oh, and there was like, "You can't turn it on, it's not there." You can see everything that's happening, but there's no audio. So, like, the giant crash and the motor, I was like, "There's gotta be a way to go back and turn the audio on." Nope. Apparently, I hit record, like, on one of those songs that's on the screen that automatically comes on. So I shut the song off, look for the volume, and then on volume on natural audio says nothing. I know, I was so pissed. So nowadays, if you hit certain buttons and I was in a hurry, it'll automatically throw a song on there to like lip sync to or whatever the hell people do nowadays. But anyways, no, I think I can make something out of it. I still think I can. I still think because you can see my face and then Rufus behind me and everything going on. I think I can still do something with it. I don't know what. Roxanne looks heartbroken. You kidding me? She looks like she's a mama that's been up all night. Rhonda's just the one that's getting the breeding done. Don't worry, Roxanne will too. I'll be so glad when Rhonda finally gets pregnant. God, she gonna lay over there. Rhonda's been chasing Rufus around now. It's so funny to watch the girls because Rhonda could not stand Rufus, and Rufus actually would butt her. But now look at them two dipwads. You remember just a few weeks ago, y'all were like, "Put her back over there with Redford. She's just abused over here." And now everybody's like, Roxanne looks sad now." I know. It just give it a week and everything will change. Oh, yeah, the roof is smashed into the yeah, that bastard. I'm not even sure how I stopped running because there was a giant boulder. I don't know if you watched that video, but there's a huge boulder, um, right in front of the Ranger, and I looked like it was gonna hit the Ranger, so I stopped running because I was like, "That'll stop it." Well, it barely clipped it and then hit my hunting shack. Yeah, once she gets pregnant, she'll okay, Brent, lazy bastard crew. I have to get around. Oh no, you gotta go to work. No, we don't allow that. Take care of things. Everyone have a great day. One lazy bastard is gonna be productive. That's all right. Lost one. Do something for the rest of us. Roxanne is exhausted. Yes, she is. Everybody. They'll sleep till one ish. Look at that sweet Rondelin. Oh, there's the big boss. I know, babe. You should have seen it. Rhonda was just laying on Rufus. Remember, Rufus wouldn't even let her near him. Your husband's a lazy bastard. It's pretty common. Pretty common. He is a fireman. Big boss in here checking up on us. You see her popping in. There she is up the top. That blue super chat up there. If you guys don't follow, go give her a follow. She's not near as cool or funny as me, but she's all right. She's got some behind the scenes. She's okay. She's better to look at than me, honestly. Will Rufus protect the babies? Yes, they all will protect the babies. Everybody, when something coyote or something shows up, we love her. Me too. She's good. Um, wait, where did that say? Big Boss Forza, how did he not make you a mod yet? Is she not? Gosh, she'll block all those hot chicks that flirt with me on here. You know what I mean? Because there's so many of them. We don't want that. You know what I'm saying? I don't sit on here long enough to be a mod. Oh, burn. I've never even seen one of your lives yet. She has to deal with me long enough. Why would she? Honestly, I can even accept that. I got stuff to do. Yeah, get them shirts, put them on the website, and send us all an email that says they're on there. Um, I'm gonna clean this ditch out today. So tomorrow, if y'all ask me about that ditch right there, I did spill a lot of my chainsaw gas yesterday when Rufus rear-ended me, but I'm gonna clean that ditch out today. I'm gonna finish getting that in case my power line has to come across here. I won't be able to burn that. I think I may have to take those trees down, but I'm gonna wait and just see what the power company tells me first. I don't want to take these. These are all monster elm trees here. I want to name this Elm Street, but Amanda said no. But I may have to take those smaller ones out. I left everything I could. Anyways, this ditch that I've been working on for a mother. When I started this, the brush was actually to that brown spot right there, all the way to this side. There was no ditch there. It was level, about right here. All the trees come off from there all the way up was down here. And the thing from over here was in there. So slowly but surely. Anyways, nobody gives a shit. Amanda says nobody gives a shit about the ditch and the brush but this is how we make our house and our barn. What was the music? I don't even know. I was so mad. I just hit delete on the music, so now there's nothing on it. I can change the music, but I can't get the audio, the original audio. Whatever you want. I know she's gonna make us some signs. And our road forks up there, and I was like, okay, this should be Rufus Road. That should be Redford Road. That's where Redford always yells at me. And if you go up the hill, should be the Lockridge uh lane. Then the girls named this Lover's Lane because it looks like something you'd come down in this, the tree, all the bullshit, I guess. And then I don't know. And then there was something else. Oh, my chicken house will be, so our last name is the Lockridge, is Lockridges. So I named our chickens the Flockridges. And so that'll be on our barn. So she's supposed to be getting me some signs made. So Flockridges, um, I have a little barn up there where the horses go. We're gonna put the Flockridges on one side of it, and then for my little nieces and nephews, I'm gonna put some signs like when you drive by the pond, like "Don't feed the alligators" and all that shit. I think it'll be funny when they come out here. They're gonna say, "You have alligators in there." Like, yeah, don't get near it, you little fart head. Rufus Crossing. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Once we get these buildings going, I know it. The flock are just look at her down there, just rubbing on Rufus. They're gonna they're gonna be making us another baby. She gonna fall over. Look at this. If that ain't something, I ain't never seen cow do that with a bull. I got some of the weirdest animals, man. YouTube takes 30%. Yeah, something about like that. Look at Rufus. He's so like, get your head off me. Yeah. I'm trying to record this at the same time. I have the weirdest cows ever. Like, why are they so weird? They're courting. I know we all want to see Rufus just with Roxanne. I know that. But the reason he was getting out and breeding all my neighbors' cows is because he didn't have enough to keep him busy. Have you ever tried playing music for them? Amanda did. Um, Amanda did. I don't remember what happened, but I think she has that video on her page. Why does it bring me so much joy, like, when Rufus is put out? You know what I mean? Like, when those blackbirds are fucking with him, or, like, when Rhonda's leaned on him and I can see his face, it's like, "Oh god almighty." You know what I mean? It makes my heart happy, especially the birds. You know what I mean? Like, the birds are hopping around in front of him, and they're just messing with him, and there's one of them was trying to get on his back, and I was just like, it just makes me happy because he messes with me so much. Thank you. We're gonna do a DNA test on Rowdy. Trying to figure out a good place to get one done. They said they can do it with the hair. I already know who the dad is, though. Unfortunately, I already know the dad. There was somebody on here caught it earlier. So I know. I know. You guys want me to show you what I see? Okay. Let me show you what I see. This is unfortunate. Okay, let's get him to look over here. Okay. So let me show you a couple factors. Now, there's a lot more chance that Rufus is the daddy than Redford is the daddy, but let me show you something that Rufus does not have in him. If you look over here. Rowdy, look at me. Okay. You see that long, skinny ear? Okay. You see that long, skinny ear? Redford has, he does have a white spot. He has two. But you see those ears right there? That is a Brahmin bloodline. That is the ear. So you see those short, stubby, round ears? That 1 jillion% is Rufus's. Okay. Big, fat, thick ears in the center. And then if we look at Rowdy, he has pointy, long ears. Now, I have been proven wrong several times in life. And see, he would only be actually about so being bred back to Roxanne. So if He has Roxanne's nose and Roxanne's eyes for sure. So Redford is 50% Brahmin and Rhonda. That's exactly what his daddy looked like right here. And his mama looked like Rufus. So this is so hard to tell. But the only thing that Rufus and Roxanne don't have in their bloodline is the ear. But guess who has some ear on them? You see the short, fat, round ears? You see Rufus's short, fat, round ear? And you see Rowdy's ear, long, skinny. So, well, I wish he had his mama's ears, but Roxanne's ears, Roxanne, Roxanne, look at me. Roxanne's ears are big and round and not skinny. And you see his ear almost drooping. Okay. When you see her ears not drooping, when you see Rufus's ear not drooping, Roxanne's ear not drooping, Rowdy's ear drooping, it doesn't really matter to me, honestly. Um, I could care less. I mean, of course, I would love for it to be Rufus's baby, and it could be, but why not? Why not run a DNA test? I wouldn't. He wouldn't be able to be with anybody besides. Uh, so he wouldn't be able to breed anybody except for Ruth, Roro, and Rhonda when he gets older. Which that's fine. We need to see DNA test. I know who the daddy is. I went back through all the content to the date of conception for the date of the birth, and there is shockingly a window of time. We should make bets. We should make a who the daddy is. Um, but you see those droopy ears, and he's got a pretty decent. I mean, the dewlap is pretty common. There's a pretty good one on Roxanne. Um, but that ear is the telltale sign that he has some Brahma in him. And them two right there do not. There's none. There should be no ear on that baby. None. But I don't know what some of the other parts of him are, but I can guarantee you they're not a Brahmin. But it can be throwback from a long way. Like, I will say this, there is a higher percentage, much higher percentage chance that that baby is Rufus's rather than Redford's. But looking at him, I'm saying there's a 99% chance that that baby belongs to Redford. That's my opinion. Take it as you will. Okay, let's look at all the things here. We got some ear. Okay. We've got a bigger calf than Rufus typically throws. We've got we've got a boy, which he hasn't had yet. And we got the date lined up. Definitely not shorties. Um, and we got the date lined up for conception. She was with Redford for about 8 hours, but Rufus tore the fence down, got in, So I looking at all those things. Um, and that's why it's gonna make me so happy to put him. Now, see, Roxanne is from the same herd as Rufus, so she has dairy in her. So she has the same kind of goofy personality as Rufus, but she's a girl, of course. So the baby should have. And the other thing I saw um, was the Brahmin love to run with their tail up in the air. They love to run like that when they're little. And let me show you the video, or not video, but it was a cell cam video or picture while I was kicked off the internets. Um, Here's a picture from 4:30. I think this was what was that? What was it? I don't know what the date is on that, but here's a picture. Can y'all see this? But here is Rowdy, and then oh, there is Roro back there. So 4:30 was what day was that on? Um, that was on Thursday, last Thursday. So, Brent, can you save world hunger, please? You fucking know it all. Hey, I'm just trying to tell you what I'm seeing. I do. Here's the thing. Like I'll deny anything all day. I'll deny it, and I'll say that's Rufus's baby all day. If I have it in my head to do that, and I'll tell everybody that. But when the big boss come out and she goes, "Oh, oh, oh," and I was like, "What?" She goes, and I said, "What?" She goes, "I think that's Redford's baby." And I said, "Oh shit! If she can see it, I'm not gonna sell this." So, he was still soaking wet when I first saw him. See, there's that white spot. He's got one white spot. Vicky's in here now. Well, I mean, there's a lot of ways to tell certain blood. Look at Rufus's ear, though. It's a little short, fat ear. You know what? Who I feel bad for? I feel bad for Rufus. See his little ear, big old round ear. See Roxanne's ear, big old round ear. See Rowdy's ear, skinny pointy ear. Vicky, where you been? The shirts will be done today. They're going to be in on the store today. By the way, there's only 100, which I think that's a lot. Actually, I think we're a lot more talk than we are action on shirts. So we're dealing with lazy bastards. So you can solve world hunger because you know everything. I'm just trying to tell you. I tried to sell it to the big boss. I wanted her own opinion without me saying anything. And when she went, woo, whoa, 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 I went, okay, here's how it happened. So last summer, July 16th, we took blood from Roxanne, Rhonda, um, Ruby. Yeah, Ruby. And that was it. So we took blood. The first one we took blood out of was Roxanne when we turned her loose. Then we took blood out of Ruby, turned her loose. When we turned them loose, Roxanne went through we were all focused on taking blood and we are trying to keep, it was hot. Had these vials of blood like that, they're about the size of your thumb. And we're trying to make sure this blood doesn't collabor and dry out. So we're in a big hurry. We're pulling the blood and we're taking it straight to the vet. so it doesn't have a chance to harden, basically. So, and I'm trying to keep these separate, trying to write everybody's names on their vials, trying to do everything. Well, Roxanne snuck into the horse pen. Well, the next morning when I show up, Rufus had torn the fence down and was in the horse pen with Roxanne. But Redford was also. That's the only thing I'm going off of for this. So I would say from the time Rufus tore down the fence to get in there to try to take out Redford, yeah, I would say from the time that Rufus tried to take out Redford, Roxanne got her old booty up there to Redford and his little sawed off ass knocked him off some, and now we got Rowdy. But what are the chances in 10 hours? Now, they were, these two had never been separated. And I did not put the time frame together at all for the birth because we didn't know when she got pregnant. So I went back because I record every day. I went back and looked at recordings. And when we were taking blood, was the exact conception date of when he should have been conceived. What a clusterfuck, like honestly. Like, but you know what? Honestly, that's real life. This is real life shit right here. Okay. That's real life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real life. But Rufus was with her. She couldn't have been with Redford, but maybe yeah, we're looking for a kit that we can just take some hair out of their tail and send it off. Um, but she couldn't have been with Redford more than just a couple hours because Rufus was already in there the next morning. And I left it dark, came back. Oh no, I actually left it about trying to think of how long. But see, Redford had to tear the horse pen down to get in with her, which is he doesn't do, which means that Roxanne actually tore the horse pen down to get in with Redford. If you ask me what happened, Redford was like, I'll take me a little this old young muscled up buck over here across the fence. Anyways, there you go. Anyways, uh thanks Roxanne. Roxy Angus is coming out. Short muzzle, red color. Yeah. Um, yeah, he's got also another thing. Um, is it to shell? Another thing about Rowdy is y'all have all watched the Brahmins walk, and you see how big his knees are, and his bone structure is bigger, which is like Ruth back there. See the size of her knee. I don't know if y'all can see it on here or not, but Roxanne, Rufus, are you serious right now, dude? Um, but the bones. See, my ultimate breed I was trying to get was to breed Rufus Rufus to Rhonda and get a baby that would turn into that giant bull, which is or heifer actually is what she's going to be. But if we get a cross between her and him, uh, we're going to get a whopper. That's what I was really hoping. I feel like Rufus got that from me. Rufus learned how the itchy spot. Rufus is just he just looks bigger when he's laying down. You'd think it'd be opposite, you know what? Yeah, well, that's a back rub, huh, Rufus? Ain't worth it. She's wore him out. She has wore him out. Like, look at him, his eyes closed. She's been chasing him around. Hell no, he'll get up in 2 seconds. I probably couldn't even make it to him. Well, that's okay because she let Redford knock her up. So, sorry, guys. We don't know that for a fact. We don't know that yet. Got my opinion. You got my reasoning for it, and the reason I made my opinion the way I did. You know, Rufus has to have a few cows. Otherwise, a bull typically will have about 20 to 25 cows to keep them busy. I know, man. Dude Newton, I know. I know it. Pisses me off too to no end. It really does piss me off. That's okay. Rowdy's a bastard. He's the bastard child. Nah, we're gonna do a DNA test on him. I want to see how it works, anyways. And I think I'm gonna send one in for Rufus. I'm gonna send one in for Rufus, Redford, and maybe Roxanne. Well, that's really all I need to do. I know what Redford is for sure. I got pictures of both of his parents. Um, I don't know what he is, and I don't know what Roxanne is for sure. So not only the DNA test to see whether who the daddy of Rowdy is, but to see what exactly Rufus' bloodline is, because I'm curious because he's so damn big. I think Rufus is just um, it's just you know how you just get a one big animal occasionally or a big person out of a family. So I think I have. Oh, I got more than enough room. Will I have to build a really good separation fence? Yep. But you got to remember, it'll be before he's ready to breed anything. It'll be 3 years. So we'll get to see him grow up around the bulls, and we'll probably put him back and forth. We'll wean him with Redford, and they're gonna play like you've never seen. And I honestly, I think that's gonna be the best thing for Redford because Redford is bored out of his mind without somebody to play with. Rufus doesn't really like to play as much, so I think it's gonna work no matter what. It's gonna work fine. Yeah, we could put Rowdy and Roro and Rowdy and Ruth and Rowdy and Rhonda. He could breed any of those three and still be good. Um, and honestly, if it comes out he is Redford's, he could breed Rosie and he could breed Ruby. So Rowdy could breed everybody except for Roxanne. Oh no, he couldn't breed. Couldn't breed them. Never mind. Never mind. That's right. That'd be his sisters. So he'd have. Anyways, we'll have plenty of options. I'm hoping to get this thing separated some. If you get two or three bulls all in the same pen with no cows, you can keep them in the same pen. So we could take a break from baby having, maybe baby making at sometimes, um, which we could slow down the process. We won't be able to for another year, but then we should be able to slow it down, especially if I get this corral built real good, where we can stick Rufus in it or Redford in it or split it up where we could put both bulls up when the cows are cycling so we can slow it down some. Yep, these are all pets. Nobody gets sold. Everybody here has paid their dues. Roxanne gonna stretch. Roxanne, whose kid is that? Roxanne, whose kid did you have? Look at that bird. Look at that. I hope he comes over and fucks with it. Yes. He's trying to sleep too. Look, his eyes closed. Why do I like that so much? Cindy, do you know Ross? He's from Indiana too. Indiana. Who's calling me? Dr. Coker. By the way, if I haven't told y'all lately, I do appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate all the comments. I appreciate everything. If I haven't told y'all, I'll get to stay out here and do what I love to do. And I get to keep all these guys. They are pretty entertaining though, honestly. Like right now, not so much, but this is part of it too. I'm so mad that video got the audio. Didn't get the audio. I've learned so much. We do appreciate it. Thank y'all. You can cuddle with all of them besides that guy. I hear Redford coming. See, I am more excited about leaving him a bull and getting him in with Redford. And now he won't have all the hormones for a year or so. And then they'll start kicking in. And it's gonna be funny. I mean, I think it's gonna be fun. I would do this regardless of these guys being on here or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing it because I think it's gonna be more entertaining. I honestly feel like Redford needs somebody to play with. Cows also have to get up. They have to get up. They have to move. They can only lay for so long. They have to get up. Their stomachs uh, need to move. Horses actually are the ones that really have to move a lot. They can't really stand still. That's why you always see them standing up. You don't see them laying down much. Cows kind of the same way. Their gut needs to move. What about Ralph? Yeah, Ralph's good. Ralph is not a boy. Ralph has been fixed. He did not have all the female options when Ralph was born. So if you fix him at a really early age, give Roro a kiss. Roro, she's in a kind of a dangerous spot right there. Get her over here a second. See that udder? Those fronts are bulging. She gonna make that baby get up now. See, Mama knows that his belly needs to move too, so she gonna start licking on him. Her tongue is like the roughest thing you ever felt in your life. It is so uncomfortable. Um, but she gonna roust him around until he gets up. Roro's just in the mix, man. Roro's just a kid. And she's just curious. and she was checking out everything. Does Ralph play with Redford? Rufus? No. Uh, when you fix them, they lose the hormones that make them a bull, and they're just super docile and they're calm. Um, they pretty much uh, are just like a cow that never cycles. It's called a barren cow. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that before, but a cow that can't have a calf, never has any cycles. They just stay calm all the time. That's what happens with a steer. They don't ever get that hormone. Cows um, even get more active than a steer does. Ralph is not Rufus. I know for a fact 1,000,000% Ralph belongs to Redford. Uh, we went back through all that too. He was with Red. She was with Redford only, uh, and he's got some ear on him. Yep. Roro, they told me to give you a kiss. I hate to do that, but you are my baby. Your sisters. Look at this baby stretch out. Brent, please listen to Jerry Clower. Oh, I love Jerry Clower. I've listened to everything 100 times. My whole family can't stand it because when we go on vacation, I'll put Jerry Clower on for part of our vacation spot's about 10 hours away. So when we're driving, I'll listen to Clower, Jerry Clower. I actually have a buddy related to him, some of the Clowers. He can tell a story like no other. Roro, come here. I'm supposed to give you a kiss. I hate to get in here. Let me see if I can turn this camera around. I don't know if I can on this or not. Oh, yeah. There we go. Now we can see what's going on. Roro, come here, baby. There you go. She's got her fur is like so much softer. Um, that is one thing that does make me think maybe with the Brahmin blood, they're softer. But see, ow, son of a bitch, come on, man. They keep their heads held up. Don't let them lower their head. You got a lot less chances of getting crammed. Eat. Of course they do. They learn about babies. If you stay out here and you stay calm and you let them come to you, it takes a while. Um, look at her. I love when she holds her mouth open a little bit when you're petting her. Look at her. She's like, oh, this shirt is clean right now. Trying to keep it clean today. Okay, one hug. Do you want one or not? Okay. Are you good now? Look at the size of her head, though. It's a big head. It's your eye. Nope. Keep your head up here. When you stop scratching, she puts her head down and butts you. What is on my shirt? Their ears kind of feel like those cardboard rollers in the middle of wrapping paper and stuff. but their ears are super hot. Like it is hot, hot. Look at those things. They cover up her eyes like a basset hound. Your ear will cover your eye. Like now you're messing with me, dear. Why's my chat gone? There it is. Get my boogers. What you doing, big girl? Where you been at? See you over there letting Rufus lick your neck. You want a hug too? You got the biggest ears. The biggest old biggins. What you been up to? What you been up to, mama? She come over here and says, if anybody's getting any hugs, I'd like one. Make sure we can see Rufus over there. I'm just gonna hold her head up there. Okay, okay, okay. Well, there you go. Very organic breath. Her breath. Have you ever been to a hot spring before? Anybody? Their breath reminds me of hot springs. That sulfury. No, don't push on me. No. You ever been to a hot spring before? Um, the first chamber in their stomach, the great big old vat, and it's full of everything they just ate, and it kind of ferments. So that gas, Bruce is getting up. So that gas has to come out this end. Cows can't fart. You'll get an occasional little bit of gas when they poop, but they can't pass gas. Um, if they blow, it's really bad. So certain grass at certain times of the year cause them to bloat. We don't have much of anything over here that we could cause it, but um, good morning, Jay. Sorry, let me move out of the way over here. Yes, all their ears are very hot. Cow body temperature, I think it's 102. Um, so just to your cold hand or cooler hand, they're hot. Their whole body's hot. So anywhere you touch them, Ross, good morning. Um, so anywhere you touch them, they're very hot. Horses get colic. Yeah, horses can fart. Cows, the way their stomachs are set up, they can't. They'll swell up like a balloon and they'll actually lay down. It's one of the worst things that can happen, actually. Well, not the worst, but it's a bad situation. But they make a plastic plug about that long. It's real sharp on one end, and you actually have to take it up here and you pierce through their skin and pierce all the way into their stomach. It's the only way to let that gas out. Um, kind of picture it like you hooking up an air hose to a balloon and airing it up, and once their stomach inflates to such a certain size, they cannot let that gas out. And you got to puncture the right stomach to let that gas out. Otherwise, it pushes so much pressure on their organs and their lungs that they can't breathe and they suffocate. So usually, when one bloats, they've all eaten something. Johnson grass, a lot of Johnson grass after a big rain when it's super green. We don't have much Johnson grass at all. But like, say you get a field of Johnson grass over here somewhere, a hay field, which it makes good hay, and a tree falls down in a windstorm, knocks the fence down. All your cows get in that Johnson grass field, they'll all bloat. Um, So one thing you got to look out for. So many different things. Most shit happens after a big storm, like knock a fence down and cows get into something they're not supposed to be into. But the bloating's the worst. Uh, like sulfur, more so than rotted eggs. Um, but yeah, it definitely has that egg smelly to it, but it's more of a sulfury smell. Isn't there any measurement? Well, by the time they bloat, whatever they've eaten into their stomach and they get into that right chamber of their stomach, it just starts inflating like a balloon. There's really not much you can do um, because they only have one stomach. It has four chambers. And once it gets into that last stomach, you actually have to pierce them to let the air out of them. My dad, we used to work cows for people all over the country, but occasionally it would happen. And it's not pleasant to watch, but that gas will blow out of there like you sticking the knife into a tire. Like literally, it will just blow out of them. And immediately they start breathing. They'll actually get all the way onto the ground on their side, and all four legs will be sticking up just like a dead animal, but they'll still be alive. Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough life out here. Cattle farming is not for the faint of heart. Um, the old timers kept a really long, skinny knife um, around, a real long, skinny knife, about the width of your finger. And of course, it's skinny, but it'd be that long. And you make a cut like that. You make a cut this way, you go in all the way, then you turn your knife this way, and you cut in all the way so that it's a flap. It'll open. It'll let that gas blow out. So when you do it like that, then you give a lot of room for bacteria because you don't have a safe passage for, although you've saved the cow's life from it suffocating, you then introduce fecal into the stomach cavity. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's better to stick a knife in there and get them to breathe than just to watch them sit there and suffocate. And then you can run antibiotics on them later or even do surgery on them later. Well, you just try to avoid stuff like that. But it happens. It's better. It's kind of like think of it as a tracheotomy in a human that gets a same thing. It's the same thing as doing a trach on somebody. That's another reason why I don't like to see the cows lay down straight out flat because that's what they look like when they're bloated. Yeah. I've never actually seen it done with the plastic piece before. I've only seen it done with a knife. They say the wild cows from bloat. Nobody, they died. You can kill a whole herd of them if you don't catch it. Hell, if they get in there at night after a storm, come out the next morning, all of them gone. Worst thing is, get all of them underneath one tree, let it get hit by lightning, and then they're all done for. Or I'm going through all the worst case scenarios just so y'all know what I think about every night. Lightning is number one. Um, Lightning is really bad. It's really hard on them. There's also because cows will naturally go to, and if it's raining hard, they won't stay in a barn because they don't like the noise from the rain hitting the roof. So they'd rather go stand under a tree. What else? The other thing that's a big killer is black cherry. And there's black cherry on this place. I don't know that there's any in these two pens, but they can eat the leaves off a black cherry tree. They can eat them anytime they want. Yep, Rip did it on Yellowstone. It's a big deal. Like it's not uncommon, but you have to catch it. There's not much time once they start bloating. You can only go without oxygen for so long. So, but the black cherry tree, it kind of looks like that hackberry right here. And there's a leaf. It has a leaf on it. They can eat the leaf anytime. They can eat it green. They can eat millions of them green. Um, but you take that limb, you cut it down. So you cut that branch off. Say a storm comes through and it breaks a branch off of a cherry, black cherry, falls out here on the ground. Okay, they can eat it right then. You give it about 4 or 5 hours, depending on humidity, when that leaf starts to wilt. Okay, there's a certain time when that leaf wilts, it will kill them dead as a hammer when they eat it. It's through the wilt process and it will make them dead. And I've seen big cherry trees fall out of a fence line like that right there and be cows laying everywhere. Um, and it just depends on the exact timing of that wilt. So if they get into that limb right when that leaf is wilting, if you look it up, you can see it'll tell how much per pound they can eat. Um, so when they're green, they can eat like 100 pounds. And then when it starts that wilt process, it goes into, maybe 50 pounds, which 50 pounds of leaves, hell, there isn't 50 pounds of leaves on a tree, hardly. And then it goes from pounds, then it starts breaking down into ounces, then it starts breaking down into per leaf. So I always check my place after a big windstorm. Most farmers mark them and cut them all down. Um, my dad always said, do not ever cut a black cherry in the summertime. He said, don't touch them, don't mess with them. Birds love them too. But I've seen 2 or 3 different people go in the summertime, cut them down, pile them up, and the fucking cows get out, go to where they piled them up, and eat the leaves and kill their cows. So I don't mess with them. So how bad would that be? Because when you cut a tree down and the leaves on it, the cows love them. They love them. It's like candy. Um, Rufus, I'm sick of going back and forth here, dude. It's like candy for them. So if you cut one down, you have just opened the door. And if you cut one of them trees down right there and see how many leaves falls on the ground when you cut it, hook onto it, drag it out of there. How many leaves is going to be on the ground there? You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those things. Yep. My dad always said, "Do not touch the big cherries in the summertime. It's better to leave them there and take a chance with the wind blowing." There's just such a short area in there where that leaf has to wilt. They have to eat it at that same time. It's easier to not even jack with them. Now, the old timers would mark them with some ribbon or even a hatchet or something on the bark. And then in the wintertime, after the leaves came off, they'd go in and cut them all out, stack them up when the leaves were gone. Gout. Oh, yeah. I got gout for my 40th birthday. So, long time I've ever even heard of it. Haven't ever had it bother me again, but I did. If you'd have told me eating too much red meat would have caused that, and too much seafood. It's seafood for me. No, they're wild tree. Yeah, I was at deer camp and we deep fried a 15-pound ribeye roast in peanut oil and we ate on that thing for like 2 days. And I thought I just got drunk and broke my toe. Turns out my toe had swelled up and I had no clue. I didn't know what gout was. Does anybody know what gout is here? Of course they do. I've got all the retired older people in here. We all know what it is. You don't have to be retired or older to get it either, by the way. I got a good buddy that's younger that has it really bad in his fingers. Okay, if you don't know what it is, if you eat too much red meat, drink too much beer, and you overconsume both of those two things and then throw some seafood in there, the right toe on or your big toe on your right foot um, will hurt so bad that you want to chop it off with a hatchet. How's that? Oh yeah, beer, sugar, red meat. It's uric acid build up in your system. It settles in your right foot and your big toe. Yeah, if you'd have told me too much of that would settle into my big toe on my right foot, I would say you were crazy a few years ago. But I have broke my neck, I have broke my shoulder, broke my arm, crushed my foot, folded my foot in half one time, broke the arch of my foot, and I would take any of that over the pain from gout. The only thing I wouldn't take over that would be a kidney stone. Kidney stone, I passed a kidney stone on an airplane and stuck in a storm. And that was probably, no, that wasn't probably, that was the most pain I've ever experienced in my entire life. And we could not land because we were in a storm. And honestly, I thought I was dying. I thought I was having a heart attack. I had typed out my last text messages to my family. I literally thought I was dying. I never said anything to the flight attendant because nobody got up because we were in a storm. Thought I was dying. I did. I don't know if it was a kidney stone or a bladder. I don't know what it was. All I know is the kidney stone, and they claim the pain. I looked it up. They claim the pain from a kidney stone is worse or equal to childbirth. And if you look at the pain meter, I don't know if y'all, I'm not just saying that, trust me. It says in the Bible there is no pain greater, I think. This is the equal to every bone in your body break at the same time as childbirth. But I will tell you this, I have been in pain. I know what pain is. And I will tell you this. Um, I think you could have taken a hot piece of rebar that was glowing red and pushed it through the middle of my back and out the front of my stomach, just under my rib cage or it through my ribs, and it would not have hurt worse. I have never soaked my entire body with sweat all the way into my shoes. Um, that's how much stress my body was under, and I was in a seat on an airplane. Um, actually, coming back from Miami, and it got me right on takeoffs when it first started. I had no clue what was going on, and that was probably, without a doubt, um, all I knew something was very, very wrong with my body, and I knew that it hurt. I got dehydrated down there really bad. I was trying to get back home. I was worried about my animals. I'd been at work for about 3 days down there. I wasn't supposed to have been down there that long, and I went directly from up here, and then I went down there, and it was super hot. I was sweating my ass off, and I just ran back to the airport to grab an earlier flight. And when I did, I wasn't drinking anything. I made it to the plane, got took off, and then we got into that freaking weather, got delayed, got held up in the air, circling. It was like the worst case scenario. Honestly, it was the worst case. Yeah, she's limping a little bit on her front foot occasionally. She walks a little bit funny anyways, but I've noticed her limping just a little bit. We're gonna have to check out her foot. She's real tender footed anyways. I think part of the reason the farmer sold her to me is he thought her feet were getting bad. Rufus. Like a mess to me, dude. So we saved her from being a steak and she'll live her. And look at the two babies we got out of her. We got Ruth, we got Roro, and we'll have a few more, I'm sure. And Rufus is coming. Nikki, what are you up to today, Nikki? I feel better today. I had a migraine one day, which I never get, and then I was laughing about it yesterday because my stomach was super upset, so I got dehydrated again day before yesterday, and I'm sure that's what gave me a headache the next day. And Amanda goes, "Well, what'd you eat?" And I said, "I don't know, but it tore my stomach up." And she goes, "Well, what'd you eat today?" And I said, "Some fried chicken from the gas station." And she was like, "Oh my god, Rufus, stop fucking with me." Does Rufus drink? Hell yeah, he drinks. He drinks about. I had to look up body weight and what it takes for him to maintain. I think it's 100. He eats 145 pounds per day. And then he drinks, I forget what it was, 28 gallons or 30 gallons per day on water average. When he was about 3 years old, he got pink eye really bad. He went completely blind. He could not see nothing, zero. And I was panicking. And I had to give him shots. Well, I have no corral. I have a big open field. So I tied him. You can picture this. Now he was probably 1,000 pounds lighter. Then I tied a rope around his neck. I tied one around all four legs. Now this is before he really turned into a bull, and all the hormones were pumping. So I could access him a little bit then. But I tied no, he was still growing then. This has been years ago. But I tied a rope around all 4 feet and around his neck. And I thought, if I can get him tripped up, I get him to fall down because he's blind, I can give him a shot. I had to give him a shot. The problem wasn't to give him the shot. It was a needle. The liquid part of it was about that big around, and it was about, I don't know, 3 or 4 ounces, 3 ounces is what this consisted of. Had to give him two of these shots. I know a needle and a bull doesn't sound like a big deal, but when you poke their skin with a needle, they go nuts. It's the strangest thing. You can whack him with a steel piece of pipe and he won't know it, but you touch him with a needle prick and he will go crazy. Anyways, I tied all of his feet together. Just get on the story. Tied all his feet, not together, just tied them to a tree down there in the bottom, down there in my ball field. And the second I touched him with the needle, as soon as I touched him with this thing, and now it's thick. It's gonna take at least 15, 20 seconds. We don't know yet how big, but anyways, hang on one second. I'll answer that, Andrew. Um, It's gonna take like 15 or 20 seconds to push all this liquid into his neck. Anyway, as soon as I poked him with a needle, and a lot of times you can just pierce him with a needle and let go of it, and it'll just stay in there. And you give him a few seconds, it'll just stay there, kind of rocking around. Just leave it alone, don't touch it. And you can come back and you can push it in. Well, when I stuck him with that needle, he took off and he snapped all the ropes. Every one of them snapped. The one I had tied around his neck was a real long length rope. And it broke. Like it was just like pow, pow. But it was ropes about that. They weren't giant ropes, but I was just wanting him to tangle himself up, really. And I was standing kind of right here when I did it. So when I poked him, he knew I was there. I was rubbing him, but he jumped and just about run over top of me. Then he broke all the ropes and he took off running. Well, he couldn't see anything. So he ended up running into a giant brush pile down there that's full of blackberry briars. And he got all tangled up in these blackberry briars. And the ropes got tangled up. And I literally ran into this briar patch that was over my head with him all tangled up in there with all them briars poking him. He didn't notice. And I was able to get him a shot while he was. And let me just tell you, I was bleeding everywhere. But we were both bleeding everywhere by the time I got him that shot. But he had to have it or he'd go completely blind and they'll stay blind and their eyes will actually rupture. So I was terrified that was what was going to happen. And this is all happening in the dark too, mind you, in my front of my truck headlights, because I had to work that day. But anyways, the next day I come out here and I'm having to carry water. That's what started the whole story. I'm carrying in 5-gallon buckets of water, and I would hold cow treats underneath his nose, horse treats, and I would let him smell them. And I'd lead him up to the pond so he could drink because he couldn't find the pond. He was blind. So I spent a lot of time with this dickhead for him to chase me around. But I was carrying in buckets of water, and I'm like, son of a bitch. Like 4 or 5 gallon buckets of water he'd drink. And I'm like, how much water does this sucker hold? So he would drink 15 to 20 gallons a day easy when he was 1,000 pounds lighter. The problem was I had to give him the second shot to make sure his eyes cleared up. And the next day I come out here and I'm all cut all to pieces from these briars and all this shit. And um, I'm just like, I can't, how the fuck am I going to give him this shot? And the vet's like, you have to give him the second shot or it will come back worse. He has to have this shot. So I'm like, okay, I know. The next day, and I come out here, and was all still woods over here, and I feel of him, and he's kind of spooked a little bit when he hears me coming because of the ordeal we were both spooked, and he runs up, he kind of runs up in here, and this is pretty steep. It looks pretty flat from here, but it's not as steep. And he got hung up in some shit right there, and he fell down. And when I see him fall down, I grabbed that fucking needle and I took off running. And he was fell down. He was trying to get up, but he was just thrashing around. I literally jumped on his ass and stuck that needle in and gave him a second shot right there. And that, thank the Lord, is all I was just thinking. Thank you, Lord, because I don't know how I would have ever done it. Now he flailed around there on the ground till he finally got up. But once he got up, he uh, he was back to his normal self. He had enough of the medication in him. It cleared up, and as far as I can tell, he can see perfect. He had some light, clouds in his eyes for about a year after that, and they have since went away. Man, it was by daylight, his eyes could have, swelled out of his once his eyes swell out of where he can blink, um, it needs to be done right then. His eyes I don't know if anybody's ever seen this happen or not, but their eyes will swell with pink eye. They'll actually get to where they can't blink, and once they get to that point, you're fucked. Their eyes are done. Um, they can no longer close their eye, and they will be permanently blind. So I'm out here at 10 o'clock at night giving Rufus his shots because we could not have Rufus being blind. and my daughter was about yay big at the time. So, um, yeah, we couldn't have that happen. He was only about 2.5 or 3 years old then. The eye will pop. It will come all the way out. It will stretch out. It'll be that long sticking out like my finger. Um, and it is probably one of the worst things you'll ever see. Mhm. Yet another thing to worry about with cows, pink eye, and it's pretty easy to transmit back and forth. Flies can take it from one cow to another, and the worst color for a face for pink eye is white. White with that pink skin. This is my own opinion, but everybody has their own. But that pink is really sensitive and they can get pink eye a lot easier. He's the only one that's ever had pink eye here. So that's why he gets treated more than anybody else. They love that white face. It's more sensitive, it's more receptive to get an infection. Um, After that, I don't do it as much anymore because the vet has told me some different sprays that I use. I wasn't rotating sprays. I was trying to use pretty much the same kind of spray all year. I couldn't afford to rotate sprays as much as I do now for sure. Um, so now he gets about 3 different kinds of spray. The flies get tolerant to each one as you go. About every month, you rotate to a different one. And then I even, in the summertime when they're real bad, I even pour it on a rag. And while he's eating, we'll rub that stuff around his eyebrows and around underneath his eyes, keep the flies completely away from him. I know there's a lot of there's lots of shit to go in. Well, so these are the flies you see on him right now are more of a house fly type of fly this time of year. The horn flies will show up here before long. God, Rufus. Um, I'm gonna move downwind from that. Um, when he marks a spot, he poops in it. That's why you seen him throw the dirt up and then mark it. And I think if you shit on a spot, it's yours regardless. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was enough. I don't know what cow language means, but if you shit somewhere, that's your spot in human language to me, especially if it's in the open like that. For the care you put in these guys in the barn, thank you so much. Earth Yoshi, thank you. There's a lot. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, I know. We're standing here right now. We're looking at everybody, but there's so much has gone into everybody to get to this point. I have to have to get this barn done, and I have to get this corral going because Ruth, Roro, and I was thinking there was one more. Ruth, Roro, and Rowdy, of course, all need tetanus shots. Um, Tetanus is a pretty common killer of cows too. So we need tetanus shots. Rufus, Roxanne, Rhonda, Redford, Rosie, everybody's had theirs that's still up to date. Um, and then blackleg is another thing for Rowdy RJ for sampling of treats. Oh yeah, it won't be long. It takes about a month before they'll try to eat anything else. Roro still I've tried to give her cookies and she's like she wants to try it, but But yeah, everybody has to have their tetanus shots, and there's a black leg. Um, you wouldn't have to worry about all this stuff, but the vultures they eat a dead cow and they land like down there where that afterbirth was. I'm always thinking of this stuff. The vultures land and try to pick up the scraps of the afterbirth. Well, when they land and they've been eating an old dead cow somewhere that's miles from here, that cow died from something, who knows what. They track it into your place. Roxanne's eating the afterbirth. Two, the vultures are trying to eat it too. That's how you get shit from one farm to another. I saw you. I saw you. I saw you. Did y'all see it? Dude, I'm gonna crack you with something. You keep messing with me. Wait till you're not looking. Vultures track things in. Vultures are good to get rid of dead animals. Vultures are bad because they bring that stuff to your place. It's like an airborne drop of salt on your place with God knows what kind of different diseases from other cattle farms. He does not want scratches, I can assure you. If you're not looking, that's how these people get hurt so bad. Turn your back on him. He'll stand there for 2 hours, and then all of a sudden, he'll turn and come to you. I'm gonna have to go live with Redford. We'll go live with Redford maybe this evening. We spent a lot of time over here. Um, tell us the pricing on the shots, please. I'm gonna try to do it live, so it's not gonna be cheap because I'm gonna actually have the vet come out here and hopefully we have good enough facilities. I can catch the babies. That's no problem. I can catch all them and get them their shots with pretty much any kind of shit, even these shitty panels like this. But Rufus is going to require, um, yep, yep. I'll try to go live with them. Rufus requires a little more holding. I don't think we're going to have to give him any shots. We'll ask the vet, but he had everything when he hurt his foot. I said, give him every freaking thing that he could need ever and everything. So he got black leg, he got tetanus, he got everything, gut stuff for worms, he got everything you could think of. Um, because it was rough. Um, he's pooping so green right now. I need to put him some. I may put the rest of the hay in here. Rufus is lazy. He'll eat that hay because they're chasing that green grass so much now that it's like eating a ton of laxative almost. Can you tell us the cost of getting the babies and adults fully vaccinated? Sure. So when I did Rufus, it's not crazy expensive. So the vet coming out here is probably the most expensive part of it. Um, it's probably for him coming out here is going to cost a little over $500, probably $600 for him to show up to a farm call. And then the actual vaccinations aren't that much. They're probably per calf will be maybe $100. And then we'll probably do like a really good um wormer because cows eat on the ground all the time. They eat a lot of so they need a lot of different things to make sure that they don't have worms, they don't have anything in their gut going on. And then the babies will need their tetanus shots. So we're gonna do everything we can do to them while we have them caught. I could load the babies up, like, if this deal drags out too far into the summer, I could take Ruth and, Rowdy and, um, was it Ru was it? Oh, Roro. But I think Ruby also needs hers. They've got the record from everybody that's had what. But yeah, it costs, I don't know, a couple $100 a piece probably for everything. So a couple $1,000 plus the vet bill. So 10 of them, $200 each. Um, ish. It'll be less than $200, I think. And then I'm gonna have Rhonda has a claw on her back foot. It doesn't bother her, but it bothers me. It's a little bit. Yeah, no, Roxanne is a really good mama. Really, really good mama. Um, I actually figured out that I don't really pay a lot of attention to them when they're having babies around the same time until Rhonda, because mine all act the same. Rhonda run Ruth off really bad. And I figured out why. Okay, so right here, prime example, we're talking about it. You see Roro going up there to Rowdy right now. She, for the first day or so, she was, they'll rear up and mount. Babies will mount the other one. I don't know why they do it, but they do. And they actually rode Rowdy all the way into the ground. I had to stay down here and make sure that Ruth and Roro would leave him alone because Roxanne would not run them off like Rhonda did everybody when she had her baby. So, my honest opinion, Rhonda knew what she was doing. Roxanne doesn't have the instinct to keep the other babies away from her baby. So, my honest opinion is that Rhonda did a better job, if you ask me, because they literally rode Rowdy into the ground. His back legs couldn't even support him anymore. Um, and they were playing whatever they were doing, but he wasn't strong enough to hold himself up. And I think that's what Rhonda was avoiding. I don't think that is. I know that's what it was. So she did a lot better job by gouging them early, um, and making them leave that baby alone. So they knew to leave the baby alone before she even had her baby, really. And then um, they still leave her baby alone. I know. See, we learned something. I even learned something on that one. Do I think they would have killed him or got him to that point? Probably not. Do I think there's a lot better chance of him getting hurt? For sure, than Roro. Do I think that Rhonda did better by chasing the other ones off? Yep. Do I think Roxanne didn't? Yep. I think Roxanne just let it go. She did act a little bit concerned, but Rhonda would have ran him off. I know. One or the right. Did it look worse whenever Rhonda was doing it to her own baby? Yes. Her baby was also 500 pounds. So Ruth being the baby. So you can imagine if Ruth was trying to ride Roro, she would have rode her into the ground. They know what they're doing, I'm telling you. They know what they're doing. Rowdy will get big quick and he'll be able to hold his own. Redford is Redford is always in sight. Always. He's always watching. He's right there. See him up there? I'm just laughing because I'm thinking, um, we have not even bought the test yet. So we want to see what Rufus is for sure, so we can tell y'all what breed he actually is 100%, and we'll see what he is. And then we want to make sure he is Rowdy's dad. Um, and we want to see what Roxanne is. And of course, we'll do Rowdy too. Hey, Is that Heidi? I honestly would bet money, even though the odds are way against it. I would bet money that Redford is the dad. None of us lazy bastards, Lord. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Everybody on here has a gout pill. And y'all that said no. It's such an ugly word, gout. You know it. Like I had no clue. My doctor was like, "What are you?" I walked in there and he goes, "Oh man, you got gout, don't you?" And I go, "What?" Well, DL1 OF1. Just wait. How old are you? I ain't never had it but one time. It's been about 7 or 8 years ago. Oh, we'll probably do it on live. Where did everybody go? Rufus is in the pond. I'm pretty sure he's down there in the pond right now. Yeah. Yeah. Um, I just learned my lesson on gorging on red meat, seafood, and beer. Okay. Basically, you overdose yourself. You get so much uric acid in your bloodstream that your kidneys can't take it out anymore. So it pools into your foot. I don't know how we got onto that subject, but it sucks. Okay. Oh, yeah. He doesn't yell at the tractor as much as the four wheeler, but he does yell at everything. Lazy bastard from Canada. Good job. Keeping up the good work up there. Everything in moderate. I know. Basically, that's what happens. And once you breach that line, then you pretty much, once you catch gout or get gout, however the hell you look at it, you pretty much are susceptible for it to have another outbreak if you overdose. Yeah, please like and subscribe. And please, even if she's not as cool as me, can y'all give the big boss a follow? We're trying to get her to 100,000 so she can get the placard thing from YouTube and put Paisley's name on it because I suck as a dad. And I did think about it, and I just had Rufus the Bull put on ours. Did you pass it? What was it? Gout? You don't pass it, man. It just is. Don't even ask. You're better off not even know what it is, honestly. When your right toe on your right foot or your big toe on your right foot swells up, and you'd like to just shoot it off there because it hurts so bad, just think about this conversation right now. Sucks. It does suck. Sugar, sweet tea, soda pops, red meat. I'll tell you the red meat for me, though, guys. Meat for me is the Walmart hamburger meat, organ meat like liver, any of the real dark red meats. Um, have tons of uric acid. So the hamburger meat from Walmart must have a lot of that stuff in it because that's the one thing I cannot eat or I can feel like the temperature in my foot come up. I know that's stupid. That sounds so stupid. I know. Believe me, I know. I drink cherry extract. I drink pure cherry juice. I drink everything. Oh God, shingles. Yeah, holy shit. I think that's worse. I've never had those, but it was very cool. Got 3 fans in one place. Good deal. The shadow light. No, not stupid. I don't know what that means. My husband will eat anything. In fact, when he plans to eat me in the zombie apocalypse. Yeah, of course. They say it's like wood is on fire. It grows between the joints in your big toe. It tries to remove your big toe from your foot. In the last joint of your toe, where it meets your foot, the joints are together like this. Okay. And it grows these big old spikes off of it. So then the joint is separated. The joint will separate up to a half inch with these giant spikes. So when you bend your toe, these spikes fucking just rip and you know what I'm saying? Air blowing on your foot hurts even if you let it get that bad. I didn't know what I had. Oh, and pecans. Pecans also are what get me. It's crystals that grow between the joints. Yeah. Yep. Big Boss 479. Oh, there's one pill you can take. There's one pill you can take. Have a cup of concrete. Let me tell you something. We put some gout in your big toe, Mr. M111. You're gonna go over see your mama, get you a Band-Aid. You'd be going, hey, I would have rather taken a hatchet and removed my toe. Like that's I'm not kidding. Like when I say that, I'm not kidding. That's how bad it was. Get you a cup of concrete. Well, let's say this. I broke my arch of my foot, the entire arch, all 5 bones, broke them in half, folded my toes all the way up to the top of my foot, my ankle, and I would rather do that than the gout in one toe. Does that tell you anything? I don't know, that's a really close one, actually. That was a really close one. But the thing about the gout is one pill, uh, will it'll, dilutes the crystals, and pretty much within a day or 2, it's gone. You can't even put a sock on. Yeah, alcohol. Yeah, everything fun, pretty much everything fun. Yeah, I've bet him, Jason. Um, he's not a fan yet, but he'll get there. Ah, I just quit eating as much of that. Um, it's sugar, anything with uric acid, real high protein stuff. I didn't realize this, but lots of bodybuilders that take those big protein shakes can cause it. There's lots of different ways to get um, the uric acid too high in your body. Beans, anything real high protein, pretty much is going to have it. Organ meat, red meat, elk meat, stuff like that is really bad. Yeah, she pet him. Like said, you need your big toe to stand. You can't even stand whenever it's when it's in there. Like I'm sitting here looking at my foot right now, thinking, is it good right now? It's I've been waiting here, guys, to clear up because I need to spray some fence lines out. Um, and I'll cut this brush out. Yeah, shellfish is what got me too. Yeah, shellfish, bad. And I love those big red shrimp. We don't really know for sure. This is the first time in the history of the farm that I honestly have suspicion of somebody not being who they're supposed to be. I'm pretty much 50-50 in it, even though I suspect that Rowdy belongs to Redford. new baby is actually that is Roro is sleeping right there. There's Roro right there sleeping. That's Ruby over there. Rowdy was right above Roxanne. I think he's right behind those three trees right there. Somewhere right in there. It's where he just laid down at. Pretty sure. Last place I saw him. Or wait, that may be him right there in the middle of the screen, that brown spot. He's really hard to see. That's why I've not been riding around out here a lot. Brent's like, you will love me. That's right. He will. It takes a while. What happened, Ross? Two-time Roxanne. I think Roxanne may have been doing a little bit of going over there to the old young buck Redford side of the farm. Yeah, Earth, it takes a while. Ruby was really bad about not letting you pet her. Now she's like a big old dog. Of course, that's been so Ruby is what, close to 18 months old right now, 19 months old. So it takes a long time on some of them. Roxanne. Oh yeah. How old? How old Rufus and Redford? Rufus just turned 6. Redford is 4. Oh, baby drama. Well, we do have some baby mama drama. Um, but we'll see. Rowdy belongs to lazy bastard. I agree. I get it. We don't know who his dad is. Stop it. Shrimp poor boys. Oh God, yeah. The Brent Springer show. I actually I didn't really care for that video. Somebody made some AI video, but the only thing I could watch on that video was it's funny, but Rufus has an udder in the video. So I'm like, it's a funny video, but Rufus actually has an udder, and I'm like, well, okay, I don't feel as bad now. Rufus has an udder, so yeah. Yes, we're gonna do it. We're gonna well, I say that like it's just something easy to do. We're gonna do a DNA test so that we know. Everybody always asks me what all Rufus is, so we'll actually know exactly what he is. Baby girl thinks that was funny. Um, and we're gonna see what all Roxanne is, and then we'll know what they all are. So we'll know our family tree. And I know exactly what Redford is for sure, 100%. I know what Crossy is, only 2. Um, it's the only way you can get the tiger stripe. A true tiger stripe is a Hereford and a Brahman cross, and he is as pure as you can get with those 2. So we'll do. Sorry, neighbor. Had to work meeting. Oh man, not much really. We just been sitting here talking about life, gout, the normal stuff. I know. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting. Was Redbird born with tiger stripes, or did he grow them? He was definitely not born with any stripes on him. He actually was about the color of Roro. And see what we're battling against here is when I brought Ruth or when I bought Rhonda, that's a Brahmin, which is part of what Redford is. That's half of what Redford is. So Rufus and Roxanne have no Brahmin in them whatsoever. Zero. That I know of. But old Rowdy there, I suspect, has some Brahmin in him. So either there is Brahmin somewhere in Rufus's bloodline I don't know about. Y'all, check out this bluebird. Oh my God, where did that thing just come from? It comes back. I'm gonna turn the camera. There's the brightest blue little bird. But anyways, Rowdy is showing some Brahmin in his bloodline. So, well, Rhonda is full blood. Ruth is full blood Brahmin. Roro will be 50% because she's half Brahmin and she's half Rufus, whatever he is. So Amanda wants some. When I get these corrals done, maybe um, some of the Highlands. But so, anyways, half whatever Rufus is. The other half is Rhonda. So I can 1,000,000% see that Roro for sure. And I got the dates. That's one thing about it is I record everything every day. So I go back and look on the date of the conception by looking at when they birthed, and I can see what was going on that time of year. And I'd already built all this fence. I don't want y'all to think I misled you, but I'd already built all this fence and they were separated. The bulls were separated. There is no chance that Redford could have been around Roxanne. Well, guess what? I went back to the dates and we did a pregnancy check on everybody that day on July the 16th or 15th, which is the exact day that she birthed on for her complete, whatever the hell you call it. And went back and looked at July 15th or 14th to the 16th. And on the 15th or 16th, we did a pregnancy check and Roxanne got out, got in a horse pen, and came in the next morning. And Roxanne, Redford, and Rufus were all in the same field. And Rufus had torn the fence down to get in with Roxanne. I think some of y'all probably remember that. So, so Roxanne would only with Ruth or for Redford for a few hours at the most. And she wasn't even in his pen. I am blaming myself. 1,000,000% blaming myself. I didn't catch it, and I was trying to get all this blood back to the vet before it was hot. It was July 15th, and this blood was all trying to set up like concrete. So I was trying to get it in the back in the truck in the air conditioner. Got it inside the truck after getting it out of the cows, and then hauled ass to the vet to drop it all off. Came back the next morning, and everybody was in the same field. Couldn't figure out what happened. So I looked at my cameras, noticed that Roxanne had escaped out the gate while we were taking the blood because she was the first one we took blood out of, turned her out. So, anyways, that's how it all happened. Shit happens. Regardless, we got a big, healthy baby calf, and Rufus was with her all except 4 or 5 hours. So the chances really are slim, honestly. I mean, I honestly like there's fractions of a percent that she was cycling that day on top of not any of the other time. Rufus was with her every second leading up to that day. And just a few hours later, the next day, and he was already in with her when I got back. So honestly, I can't imagine. I don't know how. Like, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense to everybody? Nice story. That's the only one we went back to the conception date, and it didn't give us a true. No, Ruth is separate from everybody. So Rowdy could breed Ruth. He could breed Rhonda. Um, who else do we have he could breed? Yeah, I guess Ruth and Rhonda. Well, there's a tiny little window there. Roro's my favorite too. Stephanie. I love how she. Well, it's red, but oh yeah, I know she gets me all the time. Oh, did y'all see a squirrel? Or y'all talking about me? I'm just trying to run through my head of how the hell this happened. But we've been talking about doing a DNA test on Rufus to see what he was. Oh, the Corral. That's a bunch of shit I bought so that we could do pregnancy checks, actually. That's what brought all this on. This is all going to be wood framed. I just need my barn to be here. Well, we don't really know for sure. Rel, um, yeah, if we had a corral with the barn up here with water, um, feed, and put mama and the baby in a corral, um, sure. I mean, would it be better? Probably not. Would it hurt anything? No. Um, the corrals come with their own problems. The cows need to be grazing. They need green grass. They don't want to eat hay all the time. They're gonna want out. When you corral up cows, they get real nervous. It gives them a lot of anxiety. Um, I think, especially with ones that haven't spent much time in like that. Anytime you catch them up, they don't like it. It's like anybody else, like anything else. You don't want to be caught up. No white spot on his forehead, but he does have a white spot over his. I thought Rowdy looking like Redford when I first saw him, but didn't say anything about it. Kimberly, I didn't see it when I first saw him, but um, that morning when I walked up to him, but later on I did that day when I brought a big boss back. I was like, the only thing that is throwing me is the ears. The only thing that's throwing me is the ears. He's got Roxanne's face, baby girl. He's got Roxanne's face. He's got her nose and he's got her eyes. I mean, I when I look at him in the face, all I see is Roxanne, and she's got a pretty short face. Um, I can't tell if he's going to have horns yet, which will change the shape of his head. Um, but the ears and the little dewlap underneath his on his chest is a throwback from the Brahmin, which Rufus and Roxanne have zero in them that I know about. But it's so weird with cows and what gene is going to get shot out on that particular day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so weird when you got a mix in, like Rufus is a mix. I don't know what all he's mixed with, but it just depends on that particular day. Um, what it is. But no, we'll test him and see just if Rufus is even his dad. Like, we'll test that. Like, I'm gonna test him, Rufus, and Roxanne because I already know exactly what Redford is. We'll know real quick. The years to give it away. Yeah, it's more his front legs to me. Also, I see Brabant in his front legs. More so than a little tiny fraction of a percentage that Rufus has in him. But hell, you just never know. We'll find out. It'll be fun anyways. We'll find out. Don't worry. No, actually, my neighbor moved Shorty to another farm. Pretty good. Oh, about a year ago. So Shorty is not down. He didn't even have a bull down there right now at all, which is kind of scary to me. Um, it doesn't matter. I mean, here's the thing: Roxanne will probably have in her lifetime, she'll have 15 more calves probably or more. So we're gonna have a lot more babies. It will be funny though if Redford was only with Roxanne for a few hours, end up being the one to be the dad. But that's okay too because Redford is gonna he's gonna he's gonna be the one that is dealing with the teenager. So in about 6 or 7 months from now, we'll stick around over there to wean him off of Roxanne. So he'll be about 7 or 8 months old. And I'd say he's gonna give old Redford a run for his money. So as long as Redford's not mean to him, um, Redford is not related to Roxanne at all. Redford is not related to anybody except for except for Ralph and the baby to Ruby. Whenever Ruby has her baby, that will be Redford's. Redford is like up there. I don't know what he's doing. I don't even know if y'all can see him or not. But I've seen him up there about fall over twice. He's between those trees right there. He's up on that hill. I've seen him just about roll completely over. Let me see if it'll hold still here. I don't know what he's doing. He always lays where he can see me. I moved behind that tree and he moved down. So he's trying to see his new son. Redford is not the caring parent as Rufus is. I will tell you that. Redford doesn't give a shit about the calves, and he's been known to butt the girls a little bit. So Redford is a little bit rough around the edges. Redford needs somebody to play with. That's why I was like, Rowdy's going to be perfect. Yeah, Ralph just isn't a bull, so um, he just he has none of that hormone smells on him. Um, so usually everybody will just leave a steer alone. Like a steer is just kind of it's just there. It's just like a cow that never comes in. They just are there. Ralph is great, actually. What I was getting at with like Roro, she is crossed. She is 50% Brahmin, 50% Rufus. So she is basically what Redford is. You know what I'm saying? So the only difference is Rufus isn't full blood. So that's the easy way to tell. If Redford had bred Rhonda, Roro would not have white spots really, not as much as she does. Um, The reason that Ralph does is because he was bred with Rosie, which is spotted, so she's not a full blood. So that's why Ralph has the white spots. But if you bred Redford to Rhonda or Ruth, they would have a striped baby like Redford for sure. So if Roro's dad had been Redford, she would have came out tiger stripe, no white. Um, no, I don't know when our vacation is this summer. I think about another month. That's about what there's going on right now. That's another reason why Rowdy's a bull. Rufus is only throwing girls, which he was due to throw a boy. So we'll see. I need to put Ruby back over with Redford. Um, Now Redford getting up doing something. I'd like for Ruby to have her baby on this side, but I don't want her 20. So about 15 days after she has her baby, I'll put her back with Redford. I need more cows on this side because there's more grass over here. I was trying to let Redford's pen grow up a little thicker. Roro is Rowdy's half sister. Um, no, Roro wouldn't be related to Rowdy at all, actually. Roro is from Rufus and Rhonda, unless unless Roro is for sure Rufus's. Yes. Do I think that he is? No, I think he's Redford's. Yeah, that flood was shit. So I come over here at about 900 miles an hour. I jumped out of my truck right up there on the road and ran down there. The reason I ran was because there was a big block of wood in that creek under the water, and I couldn't tell. It looked like it was about the size of the calf, so I couldn't see the baby till I got down there. Oh yeah, I'm getting all confused now. Roro, um, probably is not related to Rowdy. So, oh yeah, no, for sure. Redford is my only purebred actual animal here besides Rhonda and Ruth. Like, Redford is people pay good money for a tiger stripe bull. That's a purebred, to make babies because they like that tiger stripe. Redford's genes are great as far as cows. Oh yeah, he's got Roxanne's eyes. He definitely just throws them around. I wish I could put them back together again. Maybe when I build this next pasture, I can build a good enough corral. Brindle. Yeah, it's the tiger stripe. If you can Google F1 in cattle breeds and you see a picture of Redford, literally a picture of Redford. Um, that's an F1. That's what they call them. Tiger stripe, a Brantford, all the same thing. Yeah, the flood freaked me out. It was just too much water too quick. Like it was just flooding. When I left that day, all I remembered when I left is she had Rowdy bedded below the pond. And I was like, the pond is already like filled to the top. There's water comes out of this. But Roxanne's good enough mom that she had him out of it. How old is Roxanne? She's the exact same age as Rufus within a day or two. I think Roxanne might be a day or two older or younger. I don't know. Are they? I hadn't even looked at the weather yet. Great. I got dents all in my truck from that last storm. I don't even know that we have any bad weather right here. It looks like we're about to, though. Is Rufus purebred? He is definitely not purebred. Rufus is Hereford. He is 50% Hereford. And then that's why we're going to do a DNA test so we can figure out exactly what else is in his bloodline. Why did Redford's mama? For, well, sometimes moms reject their babies. In humans and every animal, um, will reject a baby. Um, they just don't have that motherly instinct. A lot of times, especially if it's a younger heifer having her first calf, all they know is that something hurt them really bad. He came out back there, and there it is on the ground, and keep it away from me. That's what I think. Not really. Oh yeah, bull's crazy expensive. Uh, Redbird living his best life. Is it? Oh, no, I'm sick of the cold. Never go on Rufus. I've always been into. I've always had cows through the years and horses through the years. Um, it's kind of a long story. My life is a long story, but here I am. Might get a little rain when I was in bed. It's definitely been. This was all woods just a few months ago. This whole thing was nothing but woods, all the way down as far as you can see, all the way to here. And then this whole valley here was all woods. So I got them about, I don't know, I bet there's about 6 acres right here of more grass. So it's good to see them feeding up here. They never could access this. It was just woods, nothing would grow underneath anything. Now there's like real grass. I did make it through. It was a bumpy road, and it was not the road I ever expected to be going down. That's for sure. Now here we are. So world. I got a divorce about, I don't know, 15 years ago now, 16 years ago now, and I went through a really bad stage in life there. I had 2 farms that I was farming, chicken farms, and went through a divorce and pretty much lost everything I had. Well, I did not pretty much. I definitely did. And then this farm here, my dad, my dad really didn't have a really good way to do anything. So this farm right here, my dad bought long time ago, paid for. My dad, I have 2 brothers older than me. My dad never did like a will or anything. My dad's word is what you went by. And he told my brothers, he said, my oldest brother got it first. And then my dad said, you can't ever sell it to anybody besides your brother um, under you. So the oldest brother basically lost it, borrowed money on it, lost his ass, sold it to my middle brother. So my middle brother, he runs everything pretty good, pretty tight, and he went a different direction. and moved a pretty good ways from here. And he's like, I don't want to deal with it anymore. And I didn't know that my oldest brother had balled on it a bunch of shit. You know what I mean? Been with the R crew since Lucky got Rufus. Oh yeah, and she looking up, bless you. I know. I wish I still had old Lucky, but then my middle brother got it. He said, I don't want to deal with it. Uh, our other brother borrowed a bunch of money on it, and he called me and he said, I'm gonna sell it. Dad said I couldn't sell it to anybody but you. Do you want it? And I said, how much money's owed on it? Well, it was a lot, but I said, I farted around in this place for a long time. So I said, I guess I will buy it. They don't make any more of it. So he had to sell it to me for what was owed on it, which unfortunately wasn't like my dad gave it to my first brother. Nobody touched it till I got a hold of it. I mean, I never expected to get it. My dad didn't say, y'all all get a piece of it. He gave it to my oldest brother. My oldest brother had no option but to sell it to my middle brother. My middle brother had no option to sell it to me. So after I got it, each person had borrowed some money on it. Lucky me. Oh, yeah, I raised broilers for several years. Lucky is buried right over there. First place I ever seen him, right over there on that hump underneath the white oak tree. It was meant to be. Sure been nice if my brothers hadn't borrowed some money on it and handed it down to me. You know what I mean? That's okay. I know. What was my dad thinking though? Like, why would you set up something like that? You can't sell it to anybody but your other brother. You can't sell it to anybody besides your other brother. You can't sell it to anybody besides I don't know what happens if I don't want to sell it to my oldest brother again. Hell no. I am the baby. So when I got the phone call, I was like, yeah, I want it. And then everybody was like, well, unfortunately, it isn't paid for. you know, and I was like, oh, good. It would have been gone. Actually, they already had a real estate agent, and my middle brother, uh, he is very honest to his word, and um, he didn't have to. There was nothing in writing saying none of this. There was nothing. He could have sold it, and it was worth more than what was owed on it. Not by much, but a little bit. Um, but he could have sold it outright. And I will say this for my brothers, they are a man of their word, and I mean, I was not tied to this in any way, shape, or form on a piece of paper, nothing. And my dad only told that to my oldest brother. He's the one that told my middle brother. Then my middle brother told me. So it wasn't like I even knew it existed. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even know that was the deal. Well, thank you. I've been told I'm too nice a guy my entire life, honestly. Damn right. My whole career working in construction, I have been told I'm too nice a guy. Everywhere I've ever worked, they're like, "You can't be this nice around these guys. You can't be nice to these people. You can't treat people like this. You're too, uh, you're not, you need to be this, you need to do that." Well, piss on all that. I can't control other people, but I can control me. Yeah, maybe you get taken advantage of a little bit, but you learn. That's like one of my buddies told me, he goes, "You know, like, I'm the one person, like, it would bother me." Let's say if you're sitting at home and your air conditioner broke and you're a friend of mine, or I know you, or if I even don't know you, and your air conditioner broke at night, and I keep a lot of parts, and you didn't call me, and you went through the night with no air conditioner because you didn't want to bother me. It would bother me more knowing that than it would. if you called me at 2 a.m. because you needed a capacitor or you needed something for an air conditioner, you know what I mean? But that's a whole different I know a lot of people like, I spent a lot of time at work too, and a lot of our training was to train us on how to identify personality traits and to, I'm gonna tell you something. It drives me nuts, people. One of my good friends has still bothers me to this day, had a baby, a newer born baby, and, went all night without an air conditioner because they didn't wanna call me at night, and I was like, "I'm gonna tell you right now, you make me wanna throw up." Why would I give you the impression of that? Ain't nothing wrong with that. You end up out in the field talking to a bunch of people on camera, making a pretty decent living, living what you doing what you wanna do, right? People nowadays, man, like, I'm the kind of person I'll tell you one story. I was at the Harps down here in Prairie Grove, and there was this lady in front of me. She had 2 babies. Both of them, neither one of them had a shirt on. It was summertime, and she had, like, a pack of corn dogs, like, not even in, like, one of the bags or something. It was, like, in one of the, like, meat trays with, like, the plastic over it. This little boy had it, and there was another little baby in there. Anyway, she gets up there to pay out. I just happened to be following behind her. She ain't got enough money to pay for it. Of course, I pay for it. I'm trying to give her my groceries, and, like, um, Amanda's like there was, like, a week straight, I know this little baby was gonna have to put back these corn dogs, and I was like, "Forget that. Let's go get the best brand they have in here. We're not putting shit back." But that stuck in my head. I looked for that chick because Paisley was little, and I had Amanda bag up all her clothes that we spend God knows what on when she was little, and I was like, "I'm gonna find this person, and I wanna give her all of these clothes and whatever else she needs." And I looked for, like, 3 or 4 weeks looking for this chick. I never did find her again. I never did see her again. I don't know where she was from, but still in my head. You know what I mean? Has anybody ever done that? I'm a sucker for that. And it wasn't like she watched me and run up there in front of me or something. And the one time I'm always like that, I did farm for Tyson's. Noel, well, anybody will do it, but the one time, and this stuck in my head too, me and Paisley grow a big old garden, and, this is one of the only times I ever questioned my parenting. And we grow this great big garden, and we donate. She sells everything for $1 a pound. Everything, doesn't matter what it is. It's $1 per pound. You buy you 5 pounds of tomatoes, $5. Perfect. So you, um, and sometimes I'm like, "Gosh dang, I just dug all those potatoes. You just sold 15 pounds of potatoes for $15 of new potatoes that I worked for probably an hour to get. I'd rather eat those myself." You know what I mean? I'm like, "I'm gonna eat this. I'll give you 15 bucks for the potatoes that I dug since I'm the slave labor out here, basically." But, anyways, we grew this giant garden and we give all this stuff to a food pantry near us. And Paisley keeps her the $1 bills that she gets. That's where we had all the ones at for the lemonade stand, if y'all saw that video. Anyways, we take all this stuff to the food pantry, and it's like, oh, probably 50, 60 pounds of tomatoes and squash, cucumbers, all this stuff. And we just donate it. And then we leave. And then we do it for weeks on end. In the back of my mind, I'm like, man, I really hope people are getting this stuff. And about a month in, we take about 100 pounds of stuff down there, 70 pounds of stuff down there, and we drop it off. And we forget a whole big box of stuff. And so we have to go back. We go back to the food pantry, and it's only been about 45 minutes, and all the stuff's gone besides just a little dab. And I'm like, holy shit. And there is a camera in there that people can see what's put in there, like a link you can go to. Anyways, I didn't know that at the time. So me and Paisley, I was like, man, I wonder if somebody's taking all this stuff to the farmer's market and selling it or something. I sure hope it's going to the people that need it. But as a parent right then, Paisley was super excited. She was like all fired up. Yeah, great. There's people got that stuff that needed it, and that's great. But me, being a little bit skeptical, I was like, I wonder what. And she's like, what? I said, well, let's go get some. The next time we bring a load of stuff down here, let's do a little stakeout. So we get some Slim Jims and some Cokes, and we drop all this stuff off, and then we stake it out. And we're sitting there, and this little bitty old lady comes in there, walks off the street, goes in there, and she loads up like 10 bags of tomatoes, and she has like 10 separate bags of tomatoes and stuff. And I'm like, well, that's weird. She must be canning or something, but it didn't make any sense with all the bags. So, anyways, we don't say we don't nothing. And we go back down about a week later and we drop off another 75 pounds of stuff. And while we're in there, this little old lady that was there comes in and we're in there and she's getting all these Walmart bags together. And she's like, hey guys, are y'all the ones that have been dropping all this stuff off? And then we were like, oh yeah, that's us. We've been dropping this off. Of course, Paisley's, get her chest out, I grew all this stuff. And this little old lady is like, thank you guys so much. God bless you guys so much. And but she's not, and she's filling up each bag with so many things. And anyways, um, she's she's heading out the door, and I was like, "What? Is there anything we can do to help? Can we give you a ride or something?" She's like, "Oh no, no. I deliver this to all the seniors that are unable to get down here that want fresh vegetables and need some food." And I was like, "Oh man," it was like a stake in the heart. You know what I'm saying? Like she was delivering. She was a little bitty old lady, anyways, on foot, hand delivering to the seniors that couldn't get down there. And I was like, and here I made it seem like somebody was taking this and selling it or something. So I know. So me and Paisley, I shut my mouth. There's the old never judge a book by its cover for you. I know. I never should have made Paisley think that it was the worst case when it was actually not right off the bat. Anyways, that was my story. Thieving granny. I know. I was like, the little old lady was actually delivering to the other seniors that couldn't make it, um, on foot. But Paisley was like, "See, Dad?" I'm like, "I do. I do." Well, when Paisley was little, it was like my dream to have her set up her vegetable stand, and, I know, Stephen Granny, and have her sell produce out of my yard, of the garden. So as soon as she was big enough, had her out there selling produce. And not for money, just and that's the best thing about it. The funniest thing about it was all the old farmers that stopped by. And here's this little bitty girl up here trying to calculate how much change they had coming back to them. And what was so funny was none of these farmers would try to take any change back. Well, Paisley's whole deal was she was trying to make change. That was the fun part. So all these guys were up here trying to buy these vegetables from this little bitty girl. They all stopped because it just built family. And, Paisley's like, "No, I'm making your change." And they're like, "No, no, no, this is your tip, honey. This is what, I'm paying you this." And she's like, "Nope, nope, making change." So it was funny to watch these old men have to accept their change back from this little girl because you know how old men are when they're trying to give you some money, like they'll fight you over. Um, so, anyways, that was some of my favorite moments. And then as she got older, it turned into a self-serve, um, stand with, she had hand wrote a note and a jar and scales, and she had made it all self-serve. And here I am like a piece of crap out here, picking all this stuff, loading her shelves up. She's coming out here, strutting out with like a robe on, with shit in her hair and everything, gathering up her money like a little gangster. And I'm like out here sweating my ass off. And I'm like, you know what? Now we're gonna start donating all this shit. Yeah, I know. Paisley's like, self-serve. I'm like, "Well, what if somebody steals your jar?" She goes, "Dad, nobody's gonna steal a jar with $4 in it, okay?" I said, "Good point." It was so funny the first day she was out there too. Nobody was showing up. It was in the middle of the day. Like, she opened her doors at, like, noon. Nobody's driving around at noon. Nobody's off work yet. So I'm calling all my family. And I'm like, "This baby sitting out here in the sun, y'all get your ass. I don't care if you leave work right now. Get your ass over to my house right now and you buy something." You know what I mean? I'm like, "Get over here. I don't care who it is. You get out there and you buy something from that baby." 15 minutes later, every aunt, every uncle, every relative, everybody was at my house buying something. You know? I'm like, "I don't give a shit. Leave work." Oh, her jar is not the tip jar, it's a damn jar. Like, you literally pick up the stuff you want, weigh it, put your money in the jar, and get your shit and leave, and maybe she'll stock the bags every once in a while. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the homeless shelter was not too far from where I used to work, and the property one of the properties I worked at, the homeless people always cut through there, so I have lots of homeless stories. One thing I don't think people understand about the homeless is that, I don't know that I ever talked to one homeless person, and I'm gonna say this just this is just from me. I never talked to one homeless person that wanted a home, and I also never talked to any homeless people that was actually from around this area. Um, I know that sounds weird, but every one of the homeless people, I'd be like, you know, "I've got several people. I can get you a job. I can get you this. I can get you that. I can help you do this." And, I was always trying to help somebody. They didn't want it. They didn't want none of that. They wanted a few bucks, and they didn't want made it home for the love. Sonya, Sonya, you're a little late in the game here. We've already been on here for 214 minutes. That's what my timer says, and my battery's about dead. I've been trying to go through one battery per live. For some reason, this one's lasted a lot longer. Migrants. No, these are all none of these. Hell, all the Hispanics, they all work. All these guys were from out east, out west, and they were all just did not care. That's a good question. What time is it? Oh, she's doing all the shirts today. She just texted me and said, "Paisley may want to ride her horse after school today." I'll get on live while y'all are riding the horses. Still waiting on the email the shirts are done. Gosh dang it. It's noon o'clock and she ain't hit a lick yet. Neither have I, actually. Now I mention it. 11:53 Central. The pond needs to settle the mud. As soon as all this dirt settles and stops washing, pond will clear up. Gosh dang, it's dirty. I don't even see it, Charles, on here. It must be pulling it away from me. How are y'all seeing it, but I'm not seeing it? Charles, you got a problem, bud? Charles, keep five eyes. That what we're talking about? Oh, Nikki got him. Nikki did. What'd he say? I missed it. Nikki got his ass. Nikki, if they need to be blocked, you can block them. If they're being a real prick or saying something outrageous, I don't think did I give you the ability to block people? I don't remember if it is or not on here. I barely figured out how to make you a moderator. Unless they're a real pretty girl with like their boobies out or something weird like that. Try not to block many of those if you can keep from it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, here comes the comment. She's steaming right now. Thinking there should be a comment any second now. Yeah, boob side, boob size of weirdness. Oh, was that him asking about the Corel earlier or something? Wait, what was the picture sent? I don't even know what's going on right now. I wish I could see the whole full page of comments. I'm gonna have to get on live on my other phone from now on when I'm just sitting here. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, about the Corel? Oh, yeah. I mean, cows don't like being caught up. That nobody does. Who does? Like nobody. Nobody wants to be pinned up. I like to let shit have as much room as it can have. Repeating the same bullshit. That son of a bitch. I don't know that we can say that. We can say lazy bastard though. I'm not, I don't want to get banned again. You know what? Damn, he's pissing everybody off. He pissed off my personal brand. My personal brand is mad as a mother. What is this person doing pissing everybody off? 7 more days in the hole, Brent. This guy must have been really just been. I'm over here battling. There's something that just bit the shit out of my elbow. That's what I'm battling. I wish these birds, I was thinking these damn cowbirds over here would come over here and help me like they pester Rufus. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, 220 minutes is a pretty long live. I kind of use it as kind of like one of those things because, I just told you the story about being too nice. So I don't like to get off live. So I just wait till my battery dies so I don't have to actually say I'm getting off the live. You know what I'm saying? That's part of that personality trait. Um, we don't like to let people down. So we just feel like the Charles dude, apparently we'd like to drop an elbow on that IMFer. you know what Everybody's like, "Get a battery charger." I'm like, "Hell, I'd be on here all day." No, I'm gonna get my chainsaw in a second. The people's elbow. Hell yeah, man. They need to bring that back again. At the Rock, wasn't it? Yeah. You know what's crazy? My daughter started watching wrestling out of nowhere. And now I'm watching wrestling again. And now she kind of stopped watching wrestling a little bit. And we followed this girl. Her name is Rhea or something like that. Rhea or something. And now I'm back into wrestling again. And then I found myself in the living room by myself watching wrestling the other night. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Ripley. Is there a Rhea? Hell, I don't know. Ripley? Oh shit, I say it wrong. Somebody gonna tear me up over that, man. Rhea. She got the dark hair with the black eyeliner? I don't watch TV until late, but I do watch the SmackDown now apparently on Sundays. Is it Sundays? Sunday evening? I think it's she's like got a slender face, dark hair around her eyes. Um, she's pretty badass. That's all I know. I was watching Brock Lesnar the other night, and then he retired, which kind of made me sad because I thought I was going to get to watch Brock wrestle some more. And I was really hyped up. Then he retired in the middle of it, and I was like, "Well, great. There's my one person I used to know." It's on Fridays, Brent. I think it's on Sundays too, isn't it? Or is it Fridays? Hell, I don't even know what day it is. What is today? SmackDown's on Friday night. Cow, yeah, hell, I knew that. Everybody knows that. I was shocked to see how many people still watch wrestling. Yeah, I know, man. I had to show Paisley all the highlights from the Hulk. Um, yeah, it's Mondays too or something, isn't it? I don't know. I don't. My remote control's been bedazzled out with all these little jewels all over it, and I can't read where all any of the buttons are now. So I don't even know how to change the channels on my TV anymore. My remote control is bedazzled to the point of yeah, I'm pissed about it. Remember the junkyard dog? That was one of my favorites. Wore the big log chain around his neck. The junkyard dog. Um, I'm trying to think who was my actual favorites. Of course, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, um, Roddy Piper. You had Macho Man. I mean, that's the OGs right there. The junkyard dog. Man, I'll tell you what, not many people was a fan of him. Um, I don't think, but I loved it. The Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Man, now you bring back some children memories right here. Ric Flair, Hacksaw. Yeah. Hillbilly Jim. Man, there were so many. I forgot about Hillbilly Jim, actually. Junkyard Dog. Who remembers the Junkyard Dog? I see a lot of people saying it. King Kong. I still remember when the Hulk picked up Andre the Giant over his head. He was shaking, his knees was shaking. I had to show Paisley him get up in the middle of the ring and he'd be on one knee and he start shaking and he start pointing at the crowd. And the crowd started screaming. And I about got up and smashed my own kitchen table that night. He was doing it and I was showing Paisley. I was so fired up. I wanted to fight Amanda and Paisley. So I'm in here dragging an old mattress in the living room. I'm like, come on, both of y'all at the same time. Cage match. I went and watched with my oldest son when he was little. I went and watched Brock Lesnar fight over at Tulsa or wrestle in Tulsa when he was still wrestling the cage match. I never will forget. He got thrown through the door to the cage, and man, he was cut. Like, I'm sitting right there ringside. I can see these cuts from this chain link, and it was not fake cuts. He was mi he they missed the hole to the door, and he went through that chain link. Whew! I've been there, done that with some barbed wire. I knew those scratches were not there. Wrestling NASCAR, what they used to be. Macho Man. Who did the snap into a limp instead of Slim Jim? Was that Macho Man or was that was Macho Man, wasn't it? Yeah. Mean Gene. Man, brought back some memories here. Macho Man, that's right. I don't know why I was thinking that was Hacksaw. Ross even knows that. He's from India. Macho Man. Man, I went back and watched a lot of those interviews, of the Macho Man and Hulk talking. And I wonder how much cocaine or whatever it was they had pumped into their system back then, because there was veins on her forehead that were about to explode. You cannot tense your body up to that level without everything pumped into your bloodstream. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say it like that. I hate that. But I'm gonna tell you back in them days, boys, it was like they're like Redford when the Ranger rolls out. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just pure hormone. The interviews, I'll go back and watch interviews just for a good 20 minutes or so every once in a while. Macho Man probably had the best interviews. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, he'd get in the camera, spit is flying everywhere. Yeah, it was good stuff. Ultimate Warrior, yep. Uh, oh, yeah, I would've fought Amanda and Paige at the same time. They beat the shit out of me. What's funny is they just beat the shit out of me, like, when we're wrestling or playing, and then I do one thing, and they're like, "Calling the police on you." I'll never will forget I was on FaceTime, with my oldest son, and Amanda was behind me, and she was giving me a what for about something, and I had my phone on FaceTime, and, I did not kick. I pushed her out of the frame with my foot kind of from behind me, and I may as well have slapped her and spit in her face because she was so mad. It was like, you know what I mean? And, like, I put my foot against her hip and just pushed her out of the frame because she didn't know I was on FaceTime. And I was talking to my son and my ex-wife, which was really one of those really great conversations that you want to have, anyways. And that was years ago, but I'm telling you right now, it was like I spit on her, spat. But oh, they'll throw something, and knock my freaking eyebrow off my head, or punch me, or drop kick me, or try some kind of new wrestling move, rip my beard out by the roots, my hair out by the roots. I'm like a damn jungle gym. But I touch anybody, it's like, yep, call the cops. Call the cops right now. Look at this bruise. That's gonna leave a bruise. If you know how many times I've heard that, that's gonna leave a bruise. Oh my god, it's gonna leave a bruise. Well, no shit. I got blood pumping out of my throat right here from the fucking beard you just ripped out by the roots. Thank you. I'm ser I get every move tried on me on the planet. I'm sitting in my chair. Paisley comes over top of me. She's as big as Amanda now. She comes, does a full somersault, grabs my beard to set herself back up, rips the hair out of my. I'm like, "Oh, hey, I don't know if you know this or not, but that really hurt." Yeah, well, I'm a jungle gym. I touch one person. Your fingers are so they're just like really hard and they bruise my and I'm going, he just ripped my beard out. He just about ripped my fucking ear off my side of my head. I don't know if you know this or not, but my body has the same nerve endings as yours. Could you give me back a big hunk of the hair and my ear? And I'm so sorry that I poked you and now you're going to get a bruise tomorrow, maybe. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay. I'm like, call the cops. When they show up, I'm going to show them this hunk of hair ripped out of my beard, my ear that's dislodged. I got a chipped tooth and internal bleeding, probably. Is anybody else's wife like this too? You get a hold of them and instantly, uh, there's something wrong with them. Instantly, I grab a hold of Big Boss and she can tell, like, oh no, he's going to want to wrestle or something. Instantly, their belly's upset, their head hurts, their leg hurts. This something's bothering them instantly. Like you're about to get fucked up. 5 seconds ago, you're bouncing around here on your tiptoes. Now I got a hold of your ass. You about to pay the piper, and all of a sudden now your belly hurts, huh? Yeah, I'm about to beat the shit out of everybody in here. Everybody's in such shock when I actually do grab a hold of somebody. They're just like, I don't do it all the time, but every once in a while. Usually once my I'm backing up here to look at this to see how many trees I'm gonna have to cut down. I'm about to get off here and start cutting these trees down and try to make that into a yard. We gotta make that we gotta make this into a yard. Wasn't too bad till you really get to looking. Look at them fucking boulders in there. Oh boy. Gets a lot bigger when you zoom in too, doesn't it? Nothing no nothing the old Cub Cadet can't just mow over right in there, huh? Oh shit, my battery is gonna die. I don't want to get stuck on this line again. Oh shit, we may be too late. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys this